publish it to YouTube. If this is going to continue to go to be a problem, I'm going to switch over to StreamYard real quick because I don't know why this is a problem now all of a sudden. And we had a couple people in the chat. Alright, now we're live elsewhere. I'm going to assume this is a different stream key. So hopefully people tune into this one. Aw, man.
Yeah.
So actually, yeah. So, damn. Let me go in and share this one now because apparently the other one just died. Can you monitor the chat in the meanwhile just in case anybody turns up?
Yep.
Let me see.
There we go. We are live now.
Yeah, it says that we are live.
Let's see. We're here. No, we're on the same stream. We're on the same stream.
We're on the same stream?
Yes, sir.
Really?
That's what it looks like.
Oh, what's up, Lestat? What's up, Edward, sports expert, Kevin Cronin? What's up, guys? For some reason, there was problems with me getting it up and running through Streamlabs. It failed a couple of times. This is like the third time starting to stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. Guys, share the stream and all that, because Kidblue says it looks like the same one, but in my YouTube studio, right. In my YouTube studio, it's showing as a different one. So I guess just share this link. I already shared a different link on Twitter. That's probably going to get clicked on and whatnot. But what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. Real quick, Edward says, you need to create a Discord with the hub. I think we have individual Discords. I know I do. What about you?
I don't have one. I mean, I'd be willing to make one. I'm not really well versed in Discord because I don't know what it is about me. It's hard for me to keep up on multiple platforms. So, like, if I have a Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, it's hard for me to keep up. But if you guys want a Discord, I'll we can make a Discord. I don't mind it. It'll be a better way to communicate.
I 100% think that people would love a Discord, bro. No cap. So, actually, while because I'm like, let me just share the new link on Twitter and let people know that the old link is broken for some reason. I'm gonna hand it over to you real quick, Kidblue, to take over for a second.
What up, guys? What's going on to a new edition of the Young Guns podcast? We got some things to talk about today. There's actual NFL news and topics to talk about. I think this is part of the time now where our podcast is going to start ramping up and it's going to be more interesting. And you guys know last episode we had on Alawale Bitiku on. If you guys missed it, make sure you guys check it out. But that was very exciting. But I think now, without special guests, it's going to get even more exciting now. I'm glad you guys are here with us. We're going to be talking about more topics. We got Marcus Golden to talk about. He's coming back as a New York Giant. That was a big question mark all off season, was where is Marcus Golden gonna play in 2020 as far as New York Giants a standpoint goes, because we need pass rush help, but we were able to get him back on. I know Kush wants to talk about some second-year quarterback dilemmas that he was having. But yeah, and then rookie camp started as well, if I'm not mistaken. So,
we actually, for the first time in the while, we actually have some legitimate topics to talk about relating to the Giants. What's up, Mike Nixon? He tuned in. He says, my boys, football is in the air. Football is back, baby. Don't jinx it, but yes, I agree. I'm knocking on wood. My desk is made out of wood. But football is back. It looks like it, man. It looks like it. So listen, and Edward Chan is referring to my rage quit in the last Madden stream. Listen, that didn't happen. That was somebody else. That was somebody else playing. That wasn't me. It just happened to look like me, but that wasn't me.
Hold on. Did you rage quit a CPU game?
It wasn't me.
Golly.
It wasn't me. All I'm saying is it wasn't me, bro. Listen, you still have yet to make a response video to my last trailer, and we're playing this Friday.
On the scripting. Okay, I'm still working on the scripting. It needs to be great. Okay, it might come out the day of. Okay, it might come out the morning of the special day, but yeah.
Might come out the morning of. Come on, man. Listen, it sounds like you stalling to me. Guys, once again, go into the description if you haven't already, sub up Kidblue, and make sure you share the stream around. We're about to get started on some hot topics. So the first one, let's get into Marcus Golden, because that's really, I guess, the biggest Giants news out there right now. It is officially the 22nd. And according to Noname Stores, he just posted in the chat, Matt Peart signed today. I didn't even know that. Yeah, so a Giants rookie.
I heard that Matt Peart was the first Giants signing, Giant draft pick signing. Oh no, well Tay Crowder.
Tay Crowder was.
But,
yeah.
But of the more notable names, and no disrespect to Tay Crowder. Okay, no disrespect.
I fully expect by the time the season rolls around, everybody to be signed, like at least all the drafted rookies. I'm surprised that the only 7th rounder to sign was Tay Crowder. I have no idea why that is. I would have thought they probably worked backwards to front seventh and sixth and fifth and so on and so forth. But that's pretty good that Matt Peart signed. We actually, I'm gonna be curious to see what Andrew Thomas's contract is, because it's gonna be relatively lucrative. The man was a 4th overall pick. I don't think it's gonna be as expensive as Nate Solder, but who knows? I mean, does anybody have an idea what a first round top 5 offensive tackle contract is like?
I don't think it's that high. I don't think it's anything more than like 10 million, though, to be honest with you.
Really? That's a lot less than I expected, considering that Solder is getting, 16 million a year or something like that? Something crazy like that? Anyway, but yeah, so Marcus Golden's back, officially, we hope. Dude is finally back after that weird May the 5th tender. Kidblue actually made a video on it today. And listen, this only does good things for us. Marcus Golden can only do nothing but help the Giants, man. What'd you think?
Right. Oh yeah, I'm a complete fan of the signing, and I know a lot of people are kind of taking 2020 as more of a blur. I don't know why, because I think this is a very, very critical year for the New York Giants. This is a year that either can make or break the new regime that was put together. I know it's the first year of this regime, and usually you should give it a couple of years. But honestly, if this year is a fail, then we have a lot of work to do, and because all the adversity we're facing, it's going to take a long time for us to come back from this. And my point is, a lot of people don't really care about the Marcus Golden signing, being that, our pass rush sucks anyway. He doesn't do too much. We should give more opportunities to the younger guys. But what you guys don't understand is that Marcus Golden will help you win games. People always think of it as like, it doesn't matter, we're going to lose anyway. He will help you win games. He had 10 sacks last year, as opposed to the next man up that had 4.5 sacks, and that was O'Shane Ximenez. Okay? 10 sacks, in my opinion, is a lot better than 4.5 sacks. So you go into next year, our best pass rusher was probably Kyler Fackrell.
And we don't even know if he's actually going to repeat 10 sacks. Like that's just similar to Golden. Obviously, we say it all the time, a complete toss-up. But obviously, we're way more confident in Golden giving us 10 sacks than Kyler Fackrell.
Exactly. So, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the signing. The fact that we got him for such a deal. Like, you ever go to the supermarket hub and you see a great deal that you probably don't necessarily are dying for, or you don't really need it that much, but it's a deal. So you're like, dang, that's a pretty good price. So I'm going to take it. That's exactly how I view this. Marcus Golden, although we really do need him, I mean, does he fix all of our problems? Not really. It's probably like a Band-Aid out of anything. But we're getting him for my video was actually wrong. I said $5.5 million. We are getting him for $4.1 million. That's it.
Yeah, when I saw the vid, I was like, hold up, that's a bit more than I thought. But it is, around 4.1 mil. And by the way, Dylan, we just started there was some problems in the beginning. Sports expert, apparently, he says OBS has sucked today. I guess it wasn't just me, because I'm technically using OBS to stream this. It crashed like 3 times in the beginning, and I had to do it over and over and eventually just use a new stream link. But yeah, we just started, and Edward's saying, I don't know why everybody is mad. We got him for really cheap. Yeah, bro, 4.1 million, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking, everybody was thinking, in fact, at the beginning of the offseason, we're going to have to throw out maybe like around a $10 million range type of price tag for Marcus Golden. And people were then debating, is he worth it? Is he not worth it? I'm like, he's worth it if he's the only option on the market. But he gave you 10 sacks. So to be honest with you, it's probably more worth it than people will give him credit for. And then you just get him. It's like when you see a sale at the supermarket, but then you get to the cashier and it turns out the sale is even better than you thought it was.
Exactly.
To kind of use your analogy.
And also, I want to blame my incorrections on Jordan Renan. This is why I can't stand Jordan Renan. He gives the wrong information. That article that he posted said that Marcus Golden would then make $5.5 million if he is kept by the Giants. So that's what I went by. But he didn't, have the fact with him that it doesn't matter from incentives, because it's supposed to be 110% of the contract of last year. So he did that math and he came to the conclusion of $5.2 million. But that was with the 10 sacks incentive that Marcus Golden got. But this new contract does not have that in place. So those incentives from last year is taken out of there. So yeah, it's $4.1 million for anybody that watched my video and got the wrong information. You could blame Jordan Renan. That's why I don't like Jordan Renan. Never did.
To be honest, I don't even think I use him that much as a source. I don't know why, but
he hates any quarterback that the Giants have. I mean, he was in love with Alex Tanney last year and hated on Eli.
Wait, Alex Tanney, the third string quarterback?
Yeah, he was like, oh, to be honest, Alex Tanney was the best quarterback in the... Shut up, man. I don't like Jordan Renaud, man. Not a fan.
I mean, if he's saying stuff like that, I can't even take him seriously. Sarkon in the chat saying he may get better with new coaches. That's another thing, too. Golden, who was already, in my opinion, good enough last year, because we all know, let's be honest, it's not like we expected him or are now expecting him to be like a top 10 pass rusher. Nah, we're just expecting him to be effective and somewhat productive. There's a chance he could even get better with new coaching because, let's keep it real, last year's coaching staff was trash. The coaching last year was just such garbage compared to what it was in 2018, even though they were the same people, that there's a good chance Golden might even improve because it will be hard for me to believe that the current coaching staff can do a worse job than last year's.
I agree, but I'll quickly play devil's advocate of why I'm not gonna stand by that completely. But I understand what you're saying. It's just that because James Bettcher was a defensive coordinator, he has a very good connection with James Bettcher. So I mean, that's a lot of the reason why people think that he did so well last year. But now he doesn't have James Bettcher there, so it could go the opposite way. It could go that he regresses. But Mike Nixon asked me twice, do you watch Last Chance U? I don't watch Last Chance U. I know a lot of people love Last Chance U. I heard that it's actually like going away.
Should I check it out before it goes away?
It's like, yeah, it's for, you know what it's about?
I know what it's about. I know there was an Oakland Raiders player who was from it also.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that keep track of those players. And it seems like a good show. I just feel like I haven't watched, like, I've been so far out of the loop that it would be hard to get into it.
Mm-hmm. And then to kind of play devil's advocate to your devil's advocate argument for saying why he might regress. And this is something I brought up a lot in like recent weeks because I had an injury doctor on one of my other podcasts. Shameless plug, you guys should go check that out. He was a really smart dude to bring on to talk injuries and whatnot. Golden, it was so coincidental the fact that he reunited with James Bettcher, the guy who he had success in his specific blitzing system, but that was also the year that it was his second year off of his ACL injury, and in almost any sport it takes you about 2 years to fully recover. Generally speaking, the farther away you get from the injury, the better, as with any injury, but with the ACL, you're never the same as you were the first year back. The second year back just so happened to be on the Giants and with James Bettcher again. I will say, I feel like that does play some part into it. I don't know how much, but I feel like it does play some part into it for the devil's advocate argument as to why he might stay the same or even get better.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I'm wishing for the best, man. I'm wishing that he does progress and somehow he learns from last year and finds his way to get 13 sacks. And if he does, he's going to be expecting a payday for real this time. And whether it's us that pays him or not, that's yet to be determined. But I hope he does well this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real with you, low-key. I do feel bad for him because this was supposed to be his payday offseason, and I kind of feel bad for Golden. He did work so hard last year, definitely got the double-digit sack season. Low-key, I think he technically not broke a record, but is it a record? I mean, he was the first outside linebacker since LT, I think, to get 10 sacks on the Giants, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, I don't know why the Giants really put that out there and celebrated it, because that stat is kind of skewed.
Because we were in the force 3, right?
Exactly. Like 4-3. When are you going to see 4-3 linebackers get 10 sacks? I mean, it's not going to happen. And Marcus Golden would be a defensive end in a 4-3. So, I mean, technically, he wouldn't even be a linebacker. But it's whatever. But I understand the stat. It's pretty cool. It's intriguing.
And then on that 4-3 side of things, I think he would just be the first Giant since 2014 JPP to have 10 sacks.
Exactly. I was just about to say that he would be actually the first Giant to have 10 sacks since 2014. I think that would have been better to promote.
Mm-hmm. Because that's still a pretty long time, bro.
Exactly, and it makes a lot of sense. I'm pretty sure everybody was like, yeah, but I mean, we ran a 4-3. I mean, is Devon Kennard going to come out with 10 sacks? No.
Exactly. And Dylan Renner, the tender is basically a 1-year deal. It's basically just a 1-year extension with a little bit more money onto what he had last year. And so, I mean, Golden, listen, I'm waiting to see where the chips fall with guys with Clowney and Griffin, because I'm surprised that nobody else used this kind of tag on either of them, even the Vikings or even the Seahawks, because it would have probably played out the same way that it did for the Giants, because nobody's really signing them right now for whatever reason, and they would have went back on the respective teams for probably a good amount of money.
Well, the thing is, you have to pay these players 110% of their contract worth. So, depending on how much Jadeveon Clowney was getting paid, I don't know how much he was due that year, but maybe the Seahawks felt like they didn't want to pay that much for Jadeveon Clowney. Same thing with Everson Griffin. He is up there in age, so I don't think they wanted to pay him. I don't know how much he was getting paid, but I'll say around over $10 million a year. I don't think they would probably be for that. And I don't know why a lot of teams don't do this more often. I don't know if there's
for any player, right?
Exactly, for any player. I think that's a really good tender. And the last time it was used was in 2017, where the Patriots used that tender on LeGarrette Blount. Now, LeGarrette Blount wound up signing with the Philadelphia Eagles, so it really didn't matter. But they still tried their best with that, and I'm pretty sure LeGarrette Blount was on a cheap contract. And it's really for the players that are the veteran players that are good, serviceable, and are cheap. So you can get them for slightly
basically
more
the definition of golden, technically.
Exactly. So I feel like that's the perfect tender for someone you want to keep around that you don't want to pay huge money to, but it's going to help your team. So, and a veteran presence that probably won't get signed elsewhere, Marcus Golden. And that leads me to the next, part of this conversation. How the hell did Marcus Golden not get a contract somewhere, man?
Bro.
I mean, I'm not a GM. I'm not a scout. I'm not anybody notable in the NFL. I'm telling you right now, I would have thrown $8 million at Marcus Golden to see what happens.
Do you know why? And I can tell you right now, I can confirm that there was interest from other teams. There was legitimate interest from other teams. You don't have to go, do a deep diving scouting into news articles and whatnot. Nah, just go to other YouTube communities on YouTube, other NFL YouTube communities. Go to for example, the Ravens. Last week, my boy Engraven Vids, who I had on the one of the podcasts a week ago. Engraven is a YouTube NFL Raven content creator. Engraven, his viewers, which are obviously Ravens fans, were interested in Marcus Golden, and they were asking him about Marcus Golden for a couple of weeks. So that just shows
fit their scheme nicely too.
Exactly, that just shows that there was interest from other fan bases, and if there's interest from other fan bases, there's interest from other teams. The only reason I can think the dude wasn't picked up is solely because of Clowney. They wanted to see where the big fish is going to land first before they try to make an offer. That's the only thing that can come to my mind.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. I was reading a Seahawks article just a couple of days ago, and they were talking about their pass rush struggles, and Marcus Golden came up in that article. I mean, Marcus Golden actually comes up in a lot of conversations with teams that need pass rushers. So there's no doubt in my mind.
Because let's keep it real, right? Isn't he if we're about to rank it, he's the third best pass rusher on the market, in my opinion.
He was, yeah. I would agree so. I assume you're talking about Jadeveon, Everson,
and then Golden, yeah. So it's not like he was, just some random chopped liver on the market. He was pretty good considering, guys that were there.
Right. And just to address people in the chat, what's going on, Board and Arrow? Darth Vader, what's going on? Edward Chan says, what's with the background, Kidblue? Well, my webcam sucks, so I blur the background so it doesn't mix and be all terrible and stuff like that. So I think it looks better, Edward. I think it looks better.
I think he's doing it just to keep the focus on, it's probably just some technique he figured out. I don't know if you guys noticed, but for a couple of my streams, my camera just got blurrier and blurrier, and I have no idea why. He was like, bro, just wipe the lens, bro.
Blurry. Every day it was more blurry. I'm like, I can't see you, man.
He was just like, yo, just wipe the lens. I was like, I don't even know why I didn't even think about that. That's such a simple thing, but it slipped my mind. And now it's back to regular quality. But yeah, so we basically covered Marcus Golden, and unless there's, any questions from the chat, which will, you guys know how it goes. As the questions roll in, we'll go with it. But the next thing I wanted to get into was the rookie minicamp, or is it rookie camp, or whatever it is, the rookie minicamp for the Giants, alright? When is this thing starting? Because it was supposed to start today, and what are you looking forward to for this? Because we have no idea how the coverage is going to be. Is there going to be reporters on the field that's going to be putting up articles so we can actually get an idea of what's happening? What's up with rookie minicamp?
You know what's crazy? I haven't seen anything from Giants media post anything about rookie minicamp.
Facts. I haven't seen the Giants Twitter or anything saying, oh yeah, there's actually going to be one. I've only heard it from guys on YouTube. Yeah, that's literally it.
I would assume, because I think the Giants would have announced it already, that there would be no media presence during these drills and with the rookies and stuff like that. But Maybe like last year. I remember when the OTA started last year. Day one, we didn't see anything because day one they were just in meetings, and then in conference rooms and stuff like that, where the media is not really there. There's nothing for the media to cover anyway. I want to say that's why, and they're pretty much getting a walkthrough of the facility because I think it's the first time they're even going there. This is the first time they're even invited there. So I think it was recently that the travel ban or whatever was lifted, and now rookies are able to come. So I think they're still getting adjusted to everything. I don't think they're working out yet, but I think within tomorrow, day after tomorrow, that we'll see some coverage of the rookies. I'm really intrigued to see what these guys are. And quick note here: did you see Jabril Pepper's Instagram by any chance?
If you're talking about him and Darnay working out together,
Yes.
I saw it a couple days ago, and then after that,
loved it.
bro, Darnay is out here putting in work, yo.
Darnay was good out there, man. He looked
Bro,
good, and Jabril.
He had the speed, like we all knew.
Jabril Peppers, he was looking good, man.
Bro,
was looking good.
Like we knew Darnay had speed just from his 4-time and the way he ran, but like I didn't know he had speed until I saw that video, bro.
And he changed directions like simultaneously. I was like, oh my god, they're in sync already. Oh my god.
Exactly.
I
I was so happy that he sought out Peppers or however it happened. I was just happy he was working with the dude that's gonna be one of the leaders at secondary. Because whether you like it or not, that's Jabril Peppers is gonna be the most experienced guy in that or is it James Bradbury? It's between them two, honestly. But in terms of just being on the Giants, it would be Peppers.
I think they came out in the same draft, so both.
Yeah, I think so. I might be wrong. If not, they're probably like just a year between them. There's like a year between them.
Yeah, I think they're a year apart because Jabril is still on his 5th year option now.
Okay, yeah. And then not only that, but then after I saw Jabril Peppers' Instagram a couple days ago, then I saw Darius Slayton's tweet on Twitter. He was like, "Yo, Saquon really be strong for no reason." I was like, "Oh, he's probably just making a comment." But now there's like pictures attached. It was Slayton, Shepard, Daniel Jones, Saquon, and I think Evan Ingram, but I'm not sure. But I know those 4 were there for sure, and they were just working out, and they were already out at the MetLife facility. It looked like I don't know how y'all met up and got permission to enter the MetLife facility, but I don't care. I'm happy to see the guys who are going to be the future of the offense actually getting to know each other in the weight room.
So they were there at Quest Diagnostic? They were there?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. Well, I mean, I'm just happy. I'm just happy, man. I want to see things get back to normal so bad, man. I want to see these rookies get in a uniform. Like, I want to see Andrew Thomas put on his uniform already, man. What number is he? What is he, 78?
Yeah, I think 78. And by the way, Dylan, if it's not on Jabril Peppers' Instagram, it's on Darnay's Instagram. And Prison Mike with a Marcus Golden question, actually, that I just spotted. He says, Golden will fit Graham's system. Bro, sacks equals money. Nick Bosa will get paid. Every time I saw him, he had the QBs running for life. Clowney is so overrated. Don't understand the hype. I guess we could take this one by one. I definitely think Golden will fill Graham's system just because it's supposed to be a fluid system. So if it's going to be fluid, then he's going to fit in some way or another. I don't know. That kind of sounds like flawed logic, but I'm like, fluidity of the system means it's going to be made up of many different parts. Right. Golden's going to fit in there somewhere.
He's going to have a role.
Exactly.
He's going to have a role. And a lot of people think that a versatile or fluid scheme means every single player needs to play multiple positions. They need to be lined up everywhere. That's not the case. Not the case whatsoever. You could have one guy have one specific role. Not everybody needs to be doing everything. Like, you're not going to be seeing, like, you may be seeing Lorenzo Carter play edge rusher, inside linebacker every once in a while. Jabril Peppers playing.
I fully expect Peppers to be seen in some linebacker looks, bro.
Oh, for sure. He was playing inside linebacker when all our linebackers got hurt last year. He was a dime backer. But you're gonna see a lot of fluidity. You're gonna see a lot of players shifting around. But sometimes you just won't see other players moving around. Dexter Lawrence, you may see him line up 5 technique one time if they're really trying to stop the run. But he's primarily gonna be in the 3 tech. So yeah.
And Wolves, there's nothing bad happening. I see you type, what did he do? We were just talking about they're posting on their social media that, the players working out together. I'm guessing he's referring to Jabril Peppers, bro. Jabril Peppers was out here mentoring Darnay Holmes. I can't get over that. I low-key wish that other cornerbacks were there as well. Maybe like a Julian Love, a Grant Haley,
right,
or maybe, Chris Williamson from this year's draft, the 7th round pick, Corey Ballantyne. Like, like Darnay is taking a step forward, and he obviously knows he's gonna have to step up, barring the worst case scenario that Baker isn't there. I'm surprised dudes like Love and whatnot were there. My tongue is slipping, but who knows? Maybe they had like I don't know travel issues or something. So I can't exactly like give my whole opinion on that.
Yeah, and I want to assume, because usually when these players work out together, they kind of know someone. They kind of have a connection somehow. They know someone that knows somebody. So I assume that Jabril and Darnay somehow know each other. But yeah, you're right. I wish I could have seen some more players.
Exactly. And Nerding on Sports says, I think they were practicing at a high school as well. Yeah, I did read that. They like got to some high school field in New Jersey and was also practicing out there. And Wolves, bro, if you're really doing a Bible reading, bro, John 1:17. Don't forget Matthew 18:6, John 1:17, bro. So, Dylan with a pretty interesting question relating to the pass rush, and I think we spoke about this last time from the Chargers, Bosa or Ingram. Ingram if he was younger, but just because I'd honestly either one of them. I would go Ingram if he was younger, but obviously he's not, so I'll go Bosa.
I'm gonna say Bosa all the way. I think Ingram can't. Ingram actually used to play in that 3-4 scheme. I don't know if they're still playing. Are they playing 3-4 now? They're playing 4-3.
I think they're 4-3 now.
Yeah, but they used to be a 3-4 scheme, and Ingram was a 3-4 linebacker. So Ingram in his prime, I'll take Ingram in his prime.
That's why I was like Ingram if he was younger, because I don't know.
Right.
I could be wrong, but I don't know if Bosa could really shift to the 3-4 OLB.
We were having that conversation on the round table, and we were talking. Was it the round table or was it here? I don't know. It was our round table. Yeah, it was our round table.
What OGR?
I think we were talking about Bosa. We talked about Bosa and how we would like Bosa on the team and stuff like that, and how much I would give him and stuff like that. But,
And Prison Mike makes a pretty good point. If there's anybody they're going to keep, they're going to look to keep Bosa over Ingram. So Ingram might be the one that walks.
Yeah, exactly. But I just don't see the Giants pulling the trigger on a guy like Ingram because we're trying to build with the players that we have, and I don't think Ingram is going to be around for much longer.
Exactly. He probably... Well, actually, he's what, like 31? I'd say he has probably a good 4 or 5 years left in him.
I don't know.
As a rotational player, maybe.
Right. Then he better not be expecting a huge contract.
Oh, he's gonna be. I mean, it's just the name of the game at this point. Realistic chances for Rice and John making as a backup tight end or wide receiver is gonna be tough either way. If he's going for a backup tight end,
I think it's good.
You think it's good? I think it's gonna be tough because the tight end room right now has a lot of bodies in it, and the same for the wide receiver room with the undrafted free agents.
I completely agree with you, but remember one thing. I think they brought in Rice and John because they're low-key thinking about getting rid of Evan Ingram. And
I've heard this. Let me hear how you say it, but I've heard this.
I think they're still going to keep Evan Ingram. Don't get me wrong. They're not going to trade Evan Ingram. They're going to keep Evan Ingram, but when Evan Ingram gets hurt, he's going to fill in that role. Let me give you the rundown of these tight ends. I did the tight end positional preview, and I had time to think about this, do my research and stuff like that. The tight end room looks like this. It looks like Evan Ingram, Caden Smith, Levine Toilolo. I think we could all agree that those are probably going to be 3 tight ends right there.
Yo, isn't it crazy that CJ Conrad from last year, the undrafted free agent, is just like, what if Rice and John ends up being this year's CJ Conrad? Because CJ Conrad came in with a lot of hype. He was basically a mini Evan Ingram, but he didn't really break out to do anything.
I wanted CJ Conrad, man. He was like CJ Conrad to me is like had like a very Gronk type feel to him.
Because he could actually block. He could catch and block.
And he was a monster, but he's not on the team anymore. I don't know why. They should have kept him, to be honest. But you look at the safe positions right now for the tight end room. I think we could all argue is safe is Evan Ingram, Caden Smith, and Levine Toilolo. So that means that we have one spot left because with Jason Garrett's scheme, there's no doubt in my mind they're keeping 4 tight ends. Maybe in other schemes that they will only keep 3, like in a really pass-heavy offense. But this is a run-heavy offense. They're gonna keep 4 tight ends on the squad. So that leaves guys like Eric Tomlinson, Garrett Dickerson, Kyle Markway.
Yo, Garrett Dickerson is still on the squad?
Yeah, he's still on the team, man. Because he has a lot of potential. He just never does anything.
Yeah.
He's like, remember Jerome? Do you know Jerome Cunningham? Do you remember Jerome Cunningham?
I don't. Keep it real.
He was on the team for such a long time. Or Adrian Robinson. A bunch of tight ends. Like Will Tye, Matt Lacoste.
I know Will Tye. Will Tye, I know, was on it for a while before he even got the starting job.
Yeah, when Will Tye started making his name, he had already been on the team for like 2 or 3 years at that point. He just kept getting cut. But Garrett Dickerson is just like that. He just has so much potential, like Jerome Cunningham did, and very strong, very fast. Like Jerome I mean, Garrett Dickerson is extremely fast for his size.
But that's what I'm saying though. We have so many tight ends back there.
Right.
I don't even know if he could really get past all of them.
But here's my point. Ryson John is the only tight end that we have that possesses the vertical threat that Evan Ingram is. He's the only one that's like Evan Ingram.
Because he was actually a wide receiver.
Everyone else is almost exactly the same. Kyle Markway, Levine Toilolo, Eric Tomlinson. These guys are all pretty much the same. Even though Levine Toilolo I think is going to be safe, but the rest of the guys, Caden Smith and Levine Toilolo are blockers. They block. Caden Smith can also catch the ball too, which is great. But Caden Smith and Levine Toilolo are already blockers. We don't need any more blockers. Two tight ends that can block is good enough. Okay? So that means we don't need a Carl Markway. That means we don't need an Eric Tomlinson. You know, that leaves space, and that means we don't need pretty much a Garrett Dickerson.
Do you think we put one of them on the practice squad, or we just roll with 4 and that's it?
We can. No, we're gonna roll with 4. It depends if we put a 5th one on our practice squad.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
4. Yeah. But that Ryson John has a direct lane to get to get a tight end spot. Like I honestly think he probably has one of the better chances, excluding the wide receivers, because no doubt in my mind there's gonna be at least one wide receiver that makes it, because we just don't have enough guys on that wide receiving core. But as far as undrafted rookies go, no doubt in my mind, Ryson John has probably one of the easiest lanes to there, because there's no other receiving threat tight ends on there besides Evan Ingram. We need more diversity there. So we need 2 receiving tight ends and 2 blocking tight ends. I think that will be ideal for the Giants.
And low-key, that's why I miss, a lot of people won't like this, because I don't miss his contract, but I miss the player Rhett Ellison. Rhett Ellison to me was always an underrated pass catcher, bro. Like, he could block, but he could also catch pretty well. But that's just me.
This is the unpopular opinion, but I actually really liked Larry Donnell, okay?
I don't know why in the world you like Larry Donnell, bro.
Larry Donnell caught everything in the red zone, dude. He caught everything. I remember that San Francisco game, when that comeback in San Francisco back in, I believe it was 2014 or 2015. It's one of those, it was 2015.
Bro, the fact that he was replaced by Will Tye, his backup, is all I need to say.
I understand that part. That was because Larry Donnell in the 2016 year, I believe. No, not 2016.
2016 was when he was replaced by Will Tye.
Yeah. But I think he was still on the team in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. He kept dropping balls. And that's when Will Tye came in. I think it was...
Hey, man, you sound kind of contradictory, bro. You're like, he kept catching things in the end zone.
No.
Now he's just dropping passes.
I'm saying I liked Larry Donnell at one point. I'm not saying to have him back on now, but back in 2014 and a little bit of 2015, I mean, that dude caught everything in the red zone. You look at his statistics, Larry Donnell, I'm sorry, he didn't even look like a football player. He didn't look in shape whatsoever. I couldn't even believe he played tight end. But he caught the ball when we needed to. He dominated Washington multiple occasions. He had one game where he was the legitimate reason why we had 45 points one time. He had caught like 3 touchdowns in the red zone.
Really?
In 2014. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody. Real quick. Shout out to Big Blue Way, the only way. What's up, man? Alex Sports is in the house. How you doing, Alex Sports? Harrison Jolly, a.k.a. Danny Dimes, his doppelganger. How you doing, bro? And he was saying Donnell was the GOAT 2015 Week 5. That may be the game you're talking about.
No. It was probably. No, but it was in 2014, though.
Wolves is saying there was a 2014 home game where he showed out.
Yeah, it was 2014 versus the Washington Redskins early on in the year. Because I remember Odell actually wasn't playing yet. This is before Odell... This is Odell's rookie year.
Didn't Odell start like week... What week did he start? I was about to say week 3. Okay, week 4?
Yeah, week 4 against the Atlanta Falcons when he had his first game. But he was out with, I believe, an ankle injury the first couple weeks of the season. But Larry Donnell freaking killed... I became a Larry Donnell fan at that... Larry Donnell...
Hey, bro, it's because he was the only receiving option.
But listen to me, low-key, Larry Donnell was a top 5 tight end that year. I'm not joking. That dude... Look at his stats.
I'm about to pull it up right now. I'm about Larry Donnell 2015 stats. Address the chat. Address the chat, KB. Let me pull this up, man.
Hold on, Larry Donnell stats. I'm about to look up all his stats. Let's look at Pro Football Reference. Let's see.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm going. Real quick.
Okay, 2014. That's the year I'm talking about.
Yeah.
2014. Okay, he didn't have all the great yards. Okay, he had 6 touchdowns, 623 yards on only 6.
That's not top 5, bro.
Dude, I'm telling you, he came up in the biggest moments, dude. I'm telling you.
Maybe they should have used him more. Maybe if Odell probably didn't get that many targets, he probably could have been top 5 by the end of the year.
Right, but yeah, like everybody said, he had this issue, and I know everybody that remembers can attest to this. He had this issue with doing a front flip every time he caught, like every time he was gonna get tackled. He just went like this. He went like this, and sometimes, eventually, there was a lot of players that caught on to this, and they would run their helmet into his hand where the ball was when he was trying to do a front flip. But Larry Donnell, I'll tell you right now, you can make a 2 or 3 minute compilation of him doing a front flip every time he was tackled. No
Edward
joke.
Chan, I do agree with you. Their stats don't tell the full story. I was pulling Kidblue's leg, but when you're saying top 5, you kind of do have to get at a certain amount of stats. But I get what he's saying though. Is the impact is what he was talking about when he was actually used properly, basically.
See, Harrison Jolly even says, yes, bro, yes, the flip. He had, I'm telling you right now, you could go back. He had.
How did he not get an injury, bro?
I don't know, but he always came up looking weird. He always came up feeling weird, though. But he would always just take 2 feet right off the ground.
Bro, even nerding out sports is like giving me PTSD with those front flips.
Yeah, I'm telling you, everybody too can attest to it. He would just hold the ball, get tackled, and do a front flip. And even the announcers would make fun of him sometimes. No joke. The Bob Papa's a freaking savage.
He's a GOAT, bro. He's like the GOAT Giants commentator.
He's
Mike Nixon, he asked this question a couple times. He says, I really want Jalen Ramsey next year. He would drastically improve our secondary. Listen, he would definitely drastically improve our secondary. I don't know if I want Jalen Ramsey, though. That contract? Jesus Christ, man. That contract?
What's his contract like anyway?
I think isn't he the highest paid corner? Well, no, Baron Jones is, isn't he?
Hold up. Actually, we're paying James Bradbury more.
We are. Oh, my God. We are. I forgot about that.
Bradbury's the 3rd highest paid corner in the NFL. And Byron Jones and this guy is ahead of him. Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. Unless Jalen Ramsey just got a deal.
Jalen Ramsey is on a 4-year, $23 million deal. That's actually not that bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not that bad. Is he a free agent next year?
I'm not a Jalen Ramsey fan just because of his antics.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I don't know how I feel about his attitude.
He's the cornerback's version of OBJ. That's what he is.
Yeah, remember when he pulled up to the Jaguars? I think it was like the first game of the year or something in a Brinks truck because he wanted the bag, he wanted the contract. That's like antics to the max.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, man. That would be good. That would be bringing back OBJ, but just on another position.
Edward Chan brings up probably what describes him. He says he hates bad organizations, and our organization isn't exactly the best right now. So Jalen Ramsey might not like it here.
Yeah, he might not like it here, but yeah, I know he will talk about the front office. But
I mean, yeah.
Wolves keeps addressing this. He keeps saying you're ignoring me. He says you're always gonna be trash and Madden player. You're garbage. I'll tell you right now. Let the hub be the guinea pig of what I'm capable of. Okay, you guys will see on Friday. And
by the way, it's gonna be on both of our channels, so you'll see both of our plays.
Right. So it doesn't matter who you guys want to check out. It's gonna be on both of our channels. And it's gonna be awesome, man.
By the way, so we're gonna have there's gonna be 3 matches, right? It's gonna be 3 rounds. The first match is gonna be random teams. The second match is gonna be same teams. The third match, I was gonna leave up to you guys. If you guys got ideas, you could put it in right now. I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be whoever has, I don't know, something interesting. I was like, maybe one guy is as the lowest team, one guy is the highest team. Who knows?
You want to do what's this game mode called?
Please don't say Superstar KO.
No, screw that mode. The one where you draft your players. Mud draft.
Mud draft?
Mud draft. You never tried Mud draft?
I've never tried Mud draft.
You don't play Madden Ultimate Team?
No, I don't. Bro, I only play Madden for franchise mode, which is sad because they keep ignoring it.
Yes, exactly. That's why you have to play Madden Ultimate Team so you feel accepted.
Oh, Edward Chan, bro. Edward Chan says Hub as the Ravens, Kidblue as the Dolphins.
Oh, get the hell out of here. You crazy, man.
Dylan Renner has a pretty good one, though.
Himself would be able to beat the Dolphins.
Dylan Renner has a pretty good one, though. He says the third match is the Pro Bowl match. As the Pro Bowl teams, each of us.
Oh, Pro Bowl teams. Okay.
AFC versus NFC Pro Bowl. That's a good one to keep in mind. Mud Draft is also pretty good. You also need, I think we both have Xbox Live, bro. I think we're both good on that end. But yeah, let's get back to football. Kidblue, the Cowboys, the Hub, the Eagles. Damn, I wish I was the Cowboys because I do not like the Eagles roster. I'll tell you that right now, bro. But so another thing that came out, well, was it this week or sometime last week? There's gonna be officially, at least for MetLife Stadium, the Jets and the Giants, no fans in the stands. It's been confirmed. You're not gonna see any fans at home games at MetLife Stadium. What do you think about that, Kidblue? And I fully expect this to happen for other teams as well. Maybe some teams in Florida and in LA.
Right. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, a lot of people said that these were the first teams, right? But were they? I could have sworn I heard other teams saying that.
Bro, I'm like 99% sure we were the first teams.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but either way, I think the majority is going to lean that way as well as far as the teams go. But there are going to be some teams that obviously don't want to do it, and they probably won't start off doing it. But I think eventually, people are going to start looking their way and be like, hey, nudging them. I think you should take fans out, and it's going to happen. Eventually, everybody's going to have no fans in the stands. But my thing is that it's going to be so boring to watch. It's going to be so boring.
I actually have a counter. I have a counter to that. I fully believe they could make it not boring. Because the MLB right now, what they're doing, because I think we forget, these stadiums are equipped with the most high-tech quality speakers in the world.
Oh, the fake. Now we're going to make it legal after
the
Falcons got caught doing it?
No. You know what the MLB is doing? They made an app. They made an app that the fans could get into, and the fans could choose when to boo or cheer. And depending on that, the crowd noise is going to be adjusted by percentages of boos and cheers in real time. Exactly. So I'm like, if the MLB can do it, the NFL can 100% do either the same thing or something very similar to that. So it's not going to be just fake noise where it's like they're playing all boos or all cheers, but it's going to be regulated by percentages of what people are selecting on the app. And I think since the MLB is doing that, that's going to be really cool if the NFL could get it.
Yeah, because I feel like the players just need both. When you're on the offensive side of the ball, you need a distraction. When you're on the defensive side of the ball, you need that motivation. The NFL players, I think the NFL plays off of the crowd.
Exactly. I was about to say, the NFL actually needs the crowd.
Like, we actually have something called the 12th man in football. Like, we actually have that. That's what it's good. That's what the term is called.
Yeah, you talk about the Seahawks, the Chiefs, literally the Broncos. There's a good amount of teams in the league that fully rely on the crowd noise to help them.
Exactly, and then especially when we're watching it, I made a video on this. I've yet to edit it, but when we're watching the commentators, how when things get hyped, they try speaking over the audience because it's so loud.
Yeah.
We're just gonna be hearing like, oh, Darius Slayton to the 30, 2010 touchdown. That is the third touchdown in Darius Slayton's season. I mean, that's all we're gonna hear.
Well, bro, pray that they get the app, bro.
I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be like we're watching golf. All right, it's gonna be like we're watching golf, just like.
I'm legit. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because the saving grace is if we get an app similar to the MLB. And shout out to Jesse Bryan in the chat. What's up, Jesse? How you doing, man? One of the best subs out here. Nerding Out Sports. Apparently, he does know about the MLB app. He says that is gonna be awesome. Honestly, whoever made that, get that thing patented and copyrighted and make as much money as you can off of it and offer it to all the major sports leagues because they're all gonna want it. But especially the NFL.
Yep, you're going to have a lot of money on your hands.
And I know the MLB is also doing cardboard cutouts. Now, that I don't know about. You can't really actually simulate the fans in the stands, but you could do the sounds.
Are they going to put cardboard cutouts of somebody going like this?
I think so. It's either the MLB or the NBA. One of them are doing cardboard cutouts.
From like Madden 1999, man.
Nah, bro. Madden 20 has cardboard cutouts. Like, let's keep it real.
They still do, right?
Yeah, they still do.
Audience. Oh, my God.
The sideline is terrible, bro.
No freaking way. But by the way, guys, we have 20 people in the chat right now. Thank you guys so much for joining in the stream. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps us out a lot for the algorithm. And make sure you guys share this everywhere you guys are. If you guys are enjoying it, you think somebody else will too, share it on every platform you can. Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, it don't matter.
Exactly. Discord, I put it in my Discord. Yo, if you guys are not in my Discord, I always have it linked in my description. I just never talk about it. Because I don't know, I feel like people look in the description, but I should not assume that because a lot of y'all don't. Go into the description, click on the Discord link and join the Discord and click on Kidblue's channel and sub them up. And Wolves, yo, listen, if there's one team, exactly, if there's one team that's going to be used to no crowds, it's going to be the Chargers, bro. They're fully prepared for the 2020 season. They don't know what home field advantage is.
It's like that meme where it has the words and then it has the button. Somebody slamming
Invest.
the button. Like, invest.
And shout out to Farhan, my boy, in the chat. He says he stubbed 2 toes to join the stream. Thank you, man. That's dedication. If you guys,
my condolences to your toes.
if you guys ever want anything, bro, anything edited, bro, any type of media, hit up Farhan, bro. You already know he made my intro. He helped make the banner in the background that you guys see, my logo, everything like that, bro. Big shout out to him. The Madden game, no, it's not tomorrow, Jesse. It's Friday. Tomorrow is training camp start. And by the way, for any Halo fans in the chat, bro, tomorrow is the Halo Infinite reveal trailer. I'm gonna be watching that for a good amount of the day. So,
freaking Halo coming out, damn.
Yeah, tomorrow is the reveal trailer, man. But let's get back onto topic real quick. So let's get into the one I've been low-key waiting the entire time. The second-year quarterbacks. Now, I made a video on this today. It was low-key a rant video.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you rant right now because you look like you're about to rant. So I'm gonna let you rant.
I actually don't know how much, but I might rant a little bit. Tell me why. Anytime I go on YouTube now, all my subscriptions and all my recommendations are all like hype videos of Drew Lock and Kyler Murray, bro. Or like legit good NFL YouTubers that I love watching their channels. They're like, Drew Lock is going to break out next season and be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Or Kyler Murray is going to break out next season and be a legitimate MVP candidate. And I'm like, listen, let me address Drew Lock first. Where in the world does this Drew Lock hype come from? Because it wasn't here at the end of the season. People always point to, oh, he won 4 of his 5 games that he started towards the end of the season. There was no hype then. When he was winning 4 of those 5 games, nobody was hyping him up like this. So where in the world did this come from? Is this quarantine fever getting to y'all and you're getting a little bit drowsy? Like, Drew Lock, listen, he has potential. But that's all I see in this dude, and I'll fully digress. I'm not somebody that dived into Drew Lock film, and I think I've seen like probably 1 full game of him playing on the Broncos. But what I did see is somebody with a lot of room to improve, basically a rookie quarterback. He has a long way to go before he's taking a big leap, as some people say, and, you know, basically going to lead the Broncos to the playoffs. Now, the Broncos are one of my sleeper teams, but it's not because of Drew Lock. It's because of their defense, which is still good, and their weapons. And people bring this up to me all the time. They say, well, Drew Lock is going to be good because his weapons. You got to look at how the offense is going to go. Then the offense is going to be something to look out for. Lock is just going to be utilizing the weapons, kind of like Tannehill. Tannehill isn't an elite QB, but he's in a somewhat elite offense because of the weapons in Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown. Like, Lock, listen, and I respect what the guy does. Certainly he had a hand in winning 4 of those 5 games down the stretch for the Broncos, but he's not near Daniel Jones and Kyler Murray at this point. And on Kyler Murray, a lot of people in my rant video seem to think that I was hating on Kyler Murray, even though I fully stated the dude is a sure franchise quarterback. And you could, if somebody says he's better than Daniel Jones, I'm not even going to be mad about that. Kidblue said this in our last stream. He was the #1 overall pick. He's supposed to be better than Daniel Jones, and I fully agree with that. And one thing he brought up that I didn't know until then, and I went back and watched some of Murray film, is that Kyler Murray has some of the best accuracy in the entire NFL. And that's something I didn't know, bro.
Accuracy.
Just
at Oklahoma, I was thoroughly amazed by what I saw.
And in Arizona, the dude's accuracy all around, not just deep ball, not just short, not medium, just all around. He has some beautiful accuracy.
And that right there, effortless it was. It was very Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly.
He just let it fly. I mean,
it looked like he flicked his, like he's like flicking his hand and it's just down there.
Exactly. And his perfect spiral.
It kind of reminds me of Tony Romo a little bit in terms of flicking the hand and then the ball's down there. But yeah, so in terms of that, I wasn't hating on Kyler Murray. What I was saying is I think it's very unrealistic to put this guy in the MVP conversation right now. Like, he's nowhere near Mahomes and Jackson level that in their second year they just did. And we were lucky to see it too, back-to-back just otherworldly seasons from second-year quarterbacks. Just because it happened like that doesn't mean it's going to be a trend, and it's going to happen every single year. A second-year quarterback's going to step up like that. So what I was saying is I don't get all the MVP hype for Kyler, and that's fully there just because they got Hopkins. That's fully there just because they got Hopkins. They're forgetting that the Cardinals' defense is still trash, and their O-line is still something to look out for. They're going to be a way better team than they were last year, but it's not going to be to the point where he's going to be MVP. And then the final point I made in that video was they're like hyping up all these second-year quarterbacks, but they're just sort of leaving Daniel Jones out. I'm like, if you're going to hype up Drew Lock, you got to hype up Danny Dimes. If you're going to hype up Kyler Murray, I'm not saying put Danny Dimes in the MVP conversation like you're doing Kyler, but Daniel Jones was close enough to Kyler Murray, or even better in some aspects last year, that he should deserve the respect to get hyped up as well. And that's kind of what I was kind of leading into here, man. Your second-year quarterbacks, I guess your thoughts on what I just said and whatnot.
Yeah, I completely 100% agree with you. I don't think that the hype is worth that, and I think in all situations because I mean, were those Giants fans or were those like Drew Lock Broncos fans? And do you
No, I
know?
like there was people there I had never seen commented before,
Gosh,
and
yes.
so I might assume they're Drew Lock Broncos fans, and obviously the way they were defending him, like
Yeah.
usually Giants fans would be like, "Yo, I'm a Giants fan," but then get into their little spiel. But I don't know if they were, but they seemed like they might have been Broncos fans. Even if they weren't, it seemed like they were at the very least Drew Lock fans.
Yeah, because I feel like fans of teams just like over exaggerate their hype, and we talked about this off camera. I feel like people just skip the regular hype and go straight to like MVPs type status. And I think the Giants. I've seen a lot of. I'm sorry, but I've seen a lot of Giants fans say that Daniel Jones should be considered for MVP next year.
Like
I've heard
no, just not, bro.
I know, I understand that, but you're talking about the second year quarterbacks, and I've heard the Daniel Jones argument, and I don't understand. You can be hype about Daniel Jones. I don't. If you think Daniel Jones is gonna be a top 10 quarterback next year, that's fantastic. You can't say he's gonna be MVP. You're asking him to exceed expectations more so than he had last year that he already beat. It's gonna be very hard for him to do that. But yeah, you're right, absolutely right. It's okay to be hype about Kyler. It's okay to be even hype about Drew Lock, but it's not okay to have this sort of this mindset of thinking that, just because you're hype about these guys that, oh my God, they're going to be MVP candidates next year. I mean, it takes a lot to be an MVP candidate. When you're saying Drew Lock and Kyler Murray are MVP candidates, or even Daniel Jones, for that matter, when you're saying that these guys are MVP type candidates, you're saying these guys are going to outperform guys like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. And I don't even think Lamar Jackson is fantastic as a quarterback, but he's just an absolute video game character to watch. Even CMC, even Deshaun Watson. I mean, there's a bunch of guys that are going to be in those MVP conversations.
Like I would put
Russell
Drew
Wilson.
Brees at his age. Oh yeah, Russell
Right.
Wilson, yeah.
Russell Wilson, you're asking these second-year quarterbacks, and I get Lamar Jackson did it in his second year, Patrick Mahomes did it in his second year, but these guys are special.
Yeah,
right?
and once again, we were lucky to see that. That's not happening again, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Like two back-to-back years like that.
It's not going to happen again, that back-to-back years, it's not going to three-peat that a second-year quarterback's going to win MVP. And it kind of helps my case a little bit, going off topic, but it kind of helps my case a little bit in how I say that quarterbacks are getting more and more talented every year. Like, it's going to come to the point, Kush, that I'm telling you, at some point, like really good quarterbacks that come out in the draft are not going to be drafted high in the first round, because I don't think there's going to be a huge market for them in the next 5 years.
There's not going to be a need for them, basically.
Exactly. I think mostly every team, disregarding probably one or two teams every draft, are probably going to need a franchise quarterback because their quarterback is getting older. But I see more and more, and it started. I can't really remember where it started. Maybe 2016, like when Dak came out, Carson came out, even Jared Goff. Nobody likes Jared Goff. Poor Ryan Gosling. But he's still a franchise quarterback for the Rams.
He's a liability.
Right, he's a liability. Then I realized I'm a liability.
Exactly.
But even with Jared Goff, he's still a franchise guy. Like from 2016 on, you're seeing a bunch of these quarterbacks less likely to be busts, right? I think a lot of people, in my opinion, even myself, a lot of people thought that Lamar Jackson was going to be a bust. He wasn't. I mean, we're going down to even Josh Allen. I thought Josh Allen was going to be a bust from the get-go. I still don't like Josh Allen.
Well, I will say the jury is still out on Baker and Sam, but Josh Rosen for sure is a bust. So like the first three basically, still question marks.
No doubt in my mind. I'm not saying that quarterbacks won't be bust in the future. I'm just saying, a lot of times you only see like one or two quarterbacks go in a draft. Now we're seeing like 4 or 5 almost every year, and they're all somehow working out.
Dwayne Haskins is not. Dwayne Trashkins.
Yeah, Dwayne is probably the bust out of the 2019 draft class.
Yo, I literally, by the way, I just want to put this in there. I had a Washington fan tell me Dwayne Haskins is gonna win MVP. I'm not even joking. I had a Washington fan tell me with a straight face.
foolery, man. That's just foolery.
With a straight face, they're like, Dwayne Haskins is gonna take them to the playoffs and he's gonna win the MVP. I'm like, all right, bro, you do you, man. You figure out your name and figure out what's going on with ownership and all the scandals, bro, and then come to me with MVP talks.
Yeah, right? They have a lot going on over there, man. They really do. And Ron Rivera is probably regretting every decision that he made.
Oh my god, bro. He's regretting it wholeheartedly. And Nerding Out says, here's a good man idea. Make the hub use the Broncos, but only use it for passing plays. And I'm assuming only with Drew Lock.
Because of with Drew Lock. He's like, you want to disrespect Drew Lock? Now you got to use him.
And by the way, Dylan, there's still a good amount of people in 2020 that play Halo. You'd be surprised. There's a reason there's kind of a hype train on Twitter going on for the stream tomorrow. And who is Rashad Bateman? Big Blue Way, the only way. I've seen you post that several times.
But I'm about to look him up. I'm assuming he's a player next year's draft.
He says 2021 and then the rock sign. And let's see, is the Madden third game going to be a determined game for the winner, or will it automatically be played? What do you mean? No matter what, 3 games are going to be played. So even if somebody goes in 2-0, we're still going to play the third game. I guess. I guess he's asking if somebody is 2-0, are we still going to do the third game? The answer is yes. Like, no matter what, we're going to do 3 games.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, I understand that. And, but, I mean, yeah, it's probably going to get to that point. Yeah, it's probably going to get to it because Hub's going to lose the first 2 automatically.
Listen, bro, you're talking mad hot, bro.
Listen, he rage quitted on a CPU. What do you think he's going to do with me? Okay?
I don't, listen, that wasn't me. I've said this.
Was that your webcam there? It was your webcam there.
No, right? It wasn't, because it was blurry, so you can't tell who it was. How do you know I didn't do that on purpose to get into your mind, bro?
That was Noname.
How do you know I didn't do that on purpose to get into your mind and play some mind games, bro?
Right.
I've been saying for a while, yo, I'm not letting you have all the tricks, man. Come on now.
Right, guys.
And Jesse, who are you referring to when you say you like the team or just him? I'm guessing you're responding to somebody, and then think we should take him as an edge rusher. Are you talking about Rashad Bateman? Is he an edge rusher?
Bateman's a receiver for Minnesota. For Minnesota Gophers, the college team.
Yeah, okay then. Okay, so let's get back to the second year QBs, right? How do you think they're going to perform? I'm just going to give you out of Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins, Drew Lock, and Gardner Minshew. So let's do 5.
Gardner Minshew. Okay. Kyler Murray, I think, is still going to be the best quarterback in the draft class. And, you know, I just feel like he has a little bit more around him. He actually has a decent running game. Kenyon Drake is still there, so it's decent. He adds to the running game as well. His offensive line is definitely worse off than ours is.
Yeah,
I think ours is a lot better.
I think out of all of the 5 teams, we surprisingly might have the best offensive line. I think Broncos is debatable. Maybe the Broncos have a better one than us.
Broncos have an issue. Broncos have, at the tackle spot.
So
they still have Garrett Bowles there.
We might have the best offensive line out of the 5.
Possibly.
As weird as that sounds.
Oh, actually, Jacksonville is all right. Jacksonville is not a terrible situation.
Jacksonville, I don't know. They can't get a run game going for anything.
Right, but they still have Andrew Norwell there. They still got Cam Robinson there. They just drafted the guy last year out of Florida, Jawan Taylor.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
They got a couple guys there. I think they'll be all right. But as far as Kyler Murray goes, I think he's still going to have a great season. I think he's going to enter that top 10 situation soon.
Real quick, shout out to Heartstorm Media with the $5 super chat. Thank you, my guy. He says, Blue, maybe he's talking to you. That rhyme, don't hit the player, hit the game bars. I just got back from Orlando. I hit you up while I was there. Have y'all played each other in Madden yet? Who won? No, we're playing each other this Friday. And as for who won, it's me because I can see the future. I've told the future several times on the channel. People kind of ignore it, but I'm going to win. Thank you for the donation, Heartstorm. And, bro, I hope you could make it this Sunday for the roundtable. Or is it even a roundtable? It's going to be the 4 of us that it was on OGR. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it for the Sunday that just happened. The square table is going to be on your channel this time, right, Kidblue?
Yeah.
So hopefully you can make it for there. We could get you on. Thank you for the super chat once again.
Yeah, but yeah, also, I just want to address what he said in the super chat. I saw your comment, HSM. I responded to you. I was so busy that weekend, and I live an hour. Depending on where you were, I'm like an hour and a half away from Orlando, so I didn't know if I was able to make time for that, man. I'm sorry about that, but we could have definitely made a video too. But yeah, you were saying?
No, you were actually in the middle of your second year QB previews.
Oh yeah, so Kyler Murray, yeah, he's gonna enter. I think he's gonna creep in the top 10 conversation. I'm not saying he's gonna get there. I think he's gonna creep in.
That's a pretty big jump. Like, where do you have him right now?
It's hard. I have to be looking at it right now.
Just give me a range: 15 to 20,
he's
10 to
definitely
15.
top 15. I'd say
he's top 15. That's actually pretty high. I have him in the 15 to 20 range.
I'm not gonna base it off of everything that happened last year because I don't think we had a good sample size. But I think based off of the eye test and based off of my projections, I feel like coming into the season, I feel like Kyler Murray is already a top 15 quarterback. I think he's just that good. He's special. Like when I talk about generation quarterback, he's special. I don't. He's like what Trevor Lawrence was. When Trevor Lawrence comes out in the draft next year, like he's gonna be that special guy you cannot miss on. That franchise dude.
You think he's that special?
Listen, I watch him play, man.
I agree with you. Like I said, one thing's for sure. Once again, the dude's accuracy is not matched in my opinion. And I really do think he's that franchise quarterback for Arizona. I just got to see a little bit more before I guess I'm at that level of belief. Like right now I have him right in that 15 to 20 range. So not completely top 15 yet, but he's on the fringe of top 15 in my opinion.
Yeah, and I guess I kind of agree with you because when I say top 15, that could mean anything. That could mean like 11th, right? So I would say it's on that fringe as well, 15, 16 maybe. But I feel like Kyler Murray is going to.
You think he has a good chance of creeping up?
Yeah, I think he has a good chance of getting to that top 10 range by the time the season's over. We look at Daniel Jones. I think he's going to keep it close with Kyler Murray, but Kyler Murray's still going to move on ahead of him.
Like the weapons for sure are going to play a part. DJ definitely has the better O-line, but Kyler's going to utilize those weapons 100%.
For sure. Kyler has the better weapons at wide receiver, but we have a better running back. We got a better offensive line, so it's going to work in different ways. I think Daniel Jones, how he wins games isn't gonna really show up on his stat line. You know what I'm saying? So, getting the play action working, getting the rollouts working, being able to utilize Saquon Barkley and win games that way is not going to show up on Daniel Jones' stat sheet, so it'll be hard to tell from there. But you guys are the best duo.
Thank you, Paolo. Thank you so much, man. That means a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But what is it? I lost my train of thought for a second.
It's all right.
Daniel Jones is gonna be the second guy. I think he's gonna stay that way. Kyler Murray versus Daniel Jones is gonna be like that for a while. But
where does Daniel Jones creep up to ranking wise?
I want to say Daniel Jones is gonna get in that top 15 range. He's gonna get in that top 15. I don't want to say top 10 yet because I don't want to stir the hype. But I'd stay safe with the top 15 range because I think he is learning on an exponential level. I think he's getting better. A lot better than people think he is at a faster rate. I think Daniel Jones is getting that good. Then, third in the rankings.
Who you got? Is it going to be Minshew, Locke, or Haskins?
It's Drew Lock. Because although I think people should stop the hype because of what they saw in those final 5 games last season with Drew Lock, right? He did win 4 of those 5. He did play pretty well.
But
right?
he had a good team around him.
Right, he had a great team around him, and that's what's going to help him. I'm not saying as a quarterback, but as from his production standpoint, from looking on in the future, Drew Lock is going to be up there. And I don't think Drew Lock's a terrible quarterback either. I don't think he's bad. I think one day he could compete with Daniel Jones on who's better. I just don't envision that happening soon. I just think it'll look like that because of his weapons. But Drew Lock is definitely better than Gardner Minshew or Dwayne Haskins. I'll tell you that much just from looking at him.
And real quick, guys, I do see your questions rolling in. When we're done with this section, we'll definitely get to it. Speaking to Big Blue, Heartstorm, like we see you guys' question. We'll get to it.
Yeah, I'm going to speed it up now since it's just nobody cares about these other two guys. But Gardner Minshew is overhyped because of his mustache. And he looks like a...
Minshew mania, bro.
Right, he just really looks like a really weird porn star, okay?
From the 70s.
Yeah, from the 70s, and part of that really weird roleplay stuff, okay? So, and he looks like this guy from Napoleon Dynamite. So that's pretty much why he has all the hype.
And also, I'm like 90% sure Jaguars are going to have like the first overall pick next year.
Yeah, so I don't think Gardner Minshew is going to last too long anyway. He's a 6th-round pick for a reason. And there comes Dwayne Haskins. He's probably one of the biggest busts we're going to see in a while.
Do you think he's going to be worse than Minshew, though? Because like I just said, I think the Jaguars are going to be like number 1 pick type of quality.
But the Redskins could be too. You know, the Redskins could be too.
I think the Redskins. Listen, I don't know if they're gonna be. They're still gonna be within the top 10, I think, but I don't think they're gonna be absolutely trash. Like their defense at least did improve in the offseason.
I could understand that, but at the same time, you know, Gardner Minshew's his team's probably gonna be trash because the Jags just got rid of everybody.
Yeah.
You know, they're cleaning house, so there's not much he's gonna be able to work with, especially always being on the field because the defense, you know, can't stop scoring points. But I mean, can't stop letting up points. But Dwayne Haskins, I think he's going to be a bust, dude. I cannot envision him keeping up with anybody in this draft class.
Yo. Does Kyle Allen start over Haskins at any point?
Dude, I wouldn't put it past him because Ron Rivera, even though he's a defensive guy, he already knows what he has in Kyle Allen, right? He's the head coach. He's supposed to know about offense too. And the fact that he put in Kyle Allen last year over somebody like Cam Newton was hurt, and over somebody like the draft pick they had last year in Will Grier.
And by the way, last year Will Grier was coming in with some hype too.
Yeah, he was coming in with some hype too, but they still started Kyle Allen over him. So he may have a thing for Kyle Allen. So, you know, Dwayne Haskins, give it 2 or 3 games. Dwayne Haskins plays terrible. Hey, Kyle Allen's a young guy too. Maybe he's a franchise guy. You know, so throw him in there. See what
Kyle
happens.
Allen at the very least has better experience than Haskins in terms of he's actually, you know, won some games a little bit, and that's not everything, but he does have more experience. He has a year on him because Allen was from 2018, right?
And let me tell you, Kyle Allen was like a poor man's Daniel Jones. You know, he had the big play moments, but he also had the downfalls where it was the fumbles, the interceptions. Like, that's Daniel Jones in a nutshell. But Daniel Jones just played a lot better. You know, he had a lot more good than bad. Kyle Allen started off great, where I believe he started off 3-0. As a starter, something like that, and then it started going downhill. He started playing teams like the Packers and their crazy defense. I watched that game. That was in when I was in New Jersey for the Giants game. That was week 10, and he played pretty well. He stood in there with Aaron Rodgers, but he fell up short with all those interceptions. But he was like a poor man's Daniel Jones, a very poor man's Daniel Jones. But
Daniel Jones.
He reminded me a little bit of DJ.
And my rankings are basically the same. Kyler Murray. I'm not sure if he's going to creep up into the top 10 because I think that's very hard. But for 100%, he's definitely going to be top 15 by, you know, the end of this season. I have him at fringe 15 right now, and I only expect him to improve. So, you know what? Maybe the dude will creep up into number 10. I'm not sure. I'm going to have him right there, number 11 or 12, just because I think it's going to be really hard to crack that. But who knows? But Kyler Murray for sure is going to be like the best quarterback out of the 2019 draft class this year. DJ right up behind him. Because I've said it a million times now, I really expect the Giants' offense to be really good this year. I think we're going to be top 15 no matter what overall offense. And then if everything clicks right, we could potentially be top 10. So if the offense is that good, DJ could only, you know, also get just as good, right? I think he's going to be for sure be top 15. Right now, just like Murray, I have him in that 15 to 20 range of QBs. For sure, next year, I think he's going to be within top 15. He's going to be right there with Kyler Murray, unless one of them just has the breakout season that the hype has kind of been talking about, that we talked about earlier in the segment. Unless one of them has that legitimate breakout season, they're going to be right there neck and neck with each other. And I think I really think it's going to come down to O-lines, because Murray could only get hit so much before he gets injured. Like, the dude, he's not 207. You know, that's what he weighed in at the combine. He's not playing at 207. The dude's probably playing at like 200 or 190 something. And I feel like he's like one bad hit away, and I know that this was what all the analysts said, but while he was getting drafted, but it is kind of true. He's one hit away from, like, you know, basically getting injured. Yeah. And once he goes out, who knows how long he'll be out for. So I do think at one point it might come down to just who has better protection. And Murray's definitely more athletic too, so maybe that plays into it. But 1 and 2, Murray, DJ. Number 3, some of y'all might hate me for this. I don't know between Drew Lock and Dwayne Haskins. I really don't. I for some reason, hear me out on this. For some reason, I think that Dwayne Haskins is going to improve this year. Not by much, though. I think he's going to improve.
I don't even think Dwayne Haskins has a career win. I don't even think he's won a game.
Has he? Or has he not?
I don't think he's won a game.
No, he has. He has. Because during his first career win, he went on the sidelines and took a selfie. Like a real NFL player.
Yeah, but did he start that game? Or did he come in relief?
I don't know.
Because Washington only won, like, what, 2-3 games?
Yeah, they won like 2 or 3.
They won 3 games last year, right?
It was either 2 or 3.
There ain't no way he won a game.
Listen. The point is, for some reason, I do think Rivera could squeeze something out of Haskins, and that I think might get him up into the 3 spot. And this is not me arguing Locke is going to be bad, because it goes back to what you said. I think Denver offense is going to be, potentially great, but I don't know how much of that is Locke being a great quarterback rather than him just using, him just being a great fit for the weapons that he has. You know what I'm saying? In terms of just being a great quarterback. But it's number 3 is right there, Locke, Haskins, you flip-flop, but basically the same list as you, and then Minshew comes in last, and the major reason for that is because I fully expect Jacksonville to have the first overall pick next year. Like, Jacksonville got rid of so many players, and they look like they're full-on ready to tank for, like, the second time in 10 years. It just looks like Jacksonville is not really... They don't have a goal this year. That's the one thing you think about. What is Jacksonville's goal this year? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. They might just go in for the sake of getting Trevor Lawrence. Who knows?
I think that's probably their best bet. They cannot bank on Gardner Minshew. I don't know why everybody loves Gardner Minshew so much. They like because he had a great pass. He had the best passer rating out of all the rookies last year. That's if you rely on passer rating.
Then Dak Prescott would be the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, Dak Prescott. I mean, you're telling me that Gardner, by passer ratings, you're telling me Gardner Minshew is better than Kyler Murray? Are you insane? Come on.
Exactly.
Ain't no way. But if anybody could look up that stat, please, I cannot find it right now. Does Dwayne Haskins have a career win?
Somebody's gonna post in the chat, or they're just gonna say no. And there's been a couple of questions that rolled in while we were talking about that. First one from Big Blue Way, the only way. Which one of the undrafted free agent wide receivers do I think will make the roster, or do you guys think will make the roster? For me, it's Ben Victor. He's somebody I thought the Giants should have drafted. In one of my mock drafts, I had the Giants taking Benjamin Victor in round 6. Dude went undrafted, and I was happy that we picked him up because I thought he was a talent that shouldn't have gone undrafted. If there's anybody on that wide receiver group, I think it's going to be Victor that makes it.
Yeah, I'd say Victor as well. I give Victor just because of the diversity factor. We mentioned that with the tight ends, how Rice and John has a real good shot because there's only, everybody else that he's competing with are all the same, like blocking tight ends, and he's the only receiving threat. Benjamin Victor the same. All the guys that he's competing with are small slot receivers. He's the guy with the size. He's the guy that can go up and get it in the red zone if need be, but he needs to get more aggressive.
He needs to get more muscle.
Back. Right, he needs to get... his arms look like twigs for crying out loud. So he definitely needs to build up some muscle. Beat press. I seen him get... I'm not even joking with you. I've seen a play when I was watching both of these, Austin Mack and Benjamin Victor, on the field together, and they were the defense was playing press, and Benjamin Victor couldn't get off the damn line of scrimmage because he's not strong enough. But Alex Mack with ease was able to get that technique and get around, and get around the press. He was able to beat press. Alex Mack.
The thing is, though, it goes back to what you said with how Ben Victor stands out from the rest, because Alex Mack is literally like a Sterling Shepard type receiver.
Right, and what I will say is that, remember, Austin Mack looks small because he plays in the slot, but he's 6'2", so he's Des Bryant's height, So, Austin Mack being 6'2", and he's taller than Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton's 6'1". So, he would automatically be the tallest wide receiver if he made the roster. I just want Austin Mack to be able to separate more because he makes his money. He had to get good at catching the ball in traffic because he's not good at getting separation, like Laquan Treadwell a couple years ago out of Ole Miss. He couldn't beat anybody off the line with speed, so he had to learn how to catch in traffic. So I'd give probably the best chance to Benjamin Victor, but I'm really hoping. I really like Austin Mack. I think Austin Mack would benefit if he learns how to freaking get separation.
And Caden says Rice and John, no doubt. Here's the thing, though. Like we said earlier, Rice and John is actually competing as a tight end. That's where they have him slotted at right now. So I think KB said he thinks Rice and John is going to make the team as a tight end. I agree. It's not going to be as a wide receiver. And Nerding on Sports says Mac reminds him of our Steve Smith from the 2000s. What do you think about that?
Who does?
Austin Mack reminds him of the Giants Steve Smith.
Oh yeah. You could. I'm more so looked at Austin Mack like Victor Cruz, almost just a play style, right? Like a more tighter build, because he's not small. Like Victor Cruz wasn't that small either. Victor Cruz was like 6 foot, 6'1". And Austin Mack is 6'2", so he's not tiny. but he has a smaller build that he's more shifty. And he catches the ball in traffic. Like Victor Cruz caught a lot of balls in traffic, very tight balls.
Pause.
Pause that. Yeah, pause that. Austin Mack does the same. Catches the ball in traffic a lot, and I kind of more consider him like Victor Cruz. But Steve Smith caught a lot of balls in traffic too, man. Pause. Not in traffic, man. Not in traffic.
Shout out to Raymond in the chat. He says was good. And then Clocks with a question. Oh no, he was asking Heartstorm if he ever saw the movie or ever seen Sleepers. Don't know about that. What about you?
Nope.
Okay, but and then this is Raymond's question. He says, if we land in the mid-10s, so basically the teens, right, next year, do you prefer to pick the best available center or the best available outside linebacker? At that point, well, if the best available...
That's not even a freaking question, dude. I'm going outside. I'm going edge rusher all the way. You telling me?
Listen, it depends. If we're picking in the teens, what if that best available outside linebacker is like the third best pass rusher or the fourth?
Screw that, man.
Because that center might be the first best center.
We drafted Shane Lemieux. Screw that, man. You can find a center anywhere. Now, sometimes there are good special centers out there, like Cesar Ruiz. He's special. You know, you don't find a special center everywhere. I mean, a lot of these guys get centers in the freaking 4th or 5th round.
All right, let me replace center with wide receiver then.
That's a question. That's a good question. Because we talked about that at the round table last week, and that's something I'm going back and forth on. You know, what if somehow, some way,
what if
Chase,
bro, yeah, like what if he's at, say the Giants are picking 13, he's there, and then the best available outside linebacker is actually the third best pass rusher or the second best pass rusher even. Who are you going with?
That's a question we have to wait and see where the Giants are picking, how many draft picks they got, and everything, because that's something you have to take in consideration. But
I might still go edge rusher because it might be another good deep. Just take the wide receiver in the second round.
Yeah, but Jamar Chase is special. Like Jamar Chase could instantly be like top 5 wide receiver. I'm not even joking. Jamar Chase is that special. Like, he can be a top 5 receiver in the league.
Better than DK Metcalf. Better.
You kidding me?
I don't watch college football, so I'm asking legitimately.
DK Metcalf was a one trick. DK Metcalf ran in a straight line, and that's how he made his money. He did well at it, but all he does is run in a straight line. DK Metcalf is not useful for anything else. But Jamar Chase does everything. He's a route runner. He's a deep threat. He catches everything. He knows how to manipulate zone defenses. He can beat man. He can beat press. Like, I'm telling you right now, Jamar Chase is a jack of all trades. This guy is, no joke, this guy's going to be at least a top 7 wide receiver in his rookie year while he's starting.
So then, it gets back to it. Then that's a really difficult one, man. You taking him or you taking an edge rusher that could potentially help solve defensive problems?
I know, I get that, but I'm probably, because there are going to be, guys like Joey Bosa out there. I don't know if Jadeveon Clowney's going to sign.
I'm telling you right now, Joey Bosa is not going to hit the open market. He's getting re-signed.
Right, I understand that, but I mean, I love edge rushers.
Like,
I always
bro, who even?
Jamar Chase is different.
Let me pull it up right now. Who are the edge rushing free agents next year, bro? NFL 2021.
Creed Humphrey. Now, Creed Humphrey sounds familiar.
He's Oklahoma center, I think.
Oklahoma center. Yeah, I think I heard Bad Dog talking about him. So Creed Humphrey could be a good option as well. It depends on where he's valued at by the end of the draft, because the values change all the time, especially before the college season. I remember when Christian Hackenberg used to be the number one quarterback everybody wanted in the draft until the season ended. And
so I have the list pulled up here, the edge rushers, and this is from April, so some of them have been re-signed. For example, T.J. Watt is on here. Myles Garrett, who's been re-signed by the Browns. Joey Bosa, who I think we both know might get re-signed by the Chargers. Yannick, Von Miller, who's going to be at a pretty respectable age at that point. Yeah. Same thing with Melvin Ingram. Shaq Barrett, who we don't know. Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, motherfreaker. I'm getting Shaq Barrett.
He's 100% getting re-signed.
I don't know because Tampa.
Why would they let him go?
No, because Tampa, I don't think is in a very good position right now as far as cap goes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they're. They had to resign Ndamukong Suh. They had to resign JPP. And I forgot. They have Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski. Oh, Chris Godwin's coming up for a deal soon. Mike Evans, I think
I'm looking at their 2021 cap, right?
Yeah.
All right, so Spot Track is loading, And where is it? Because I know they have a chart basically at the bottom.
Right. It should be on the right side.
On the right?
Yeah, when you look at the 2021 salary cap and
I actually have to switch to 2021.
Yeah, switch to 2021 and then when you
I bet.
You have to hit go.
Viewing 2021 go. All right. Did it actually update? Because it didn't look like anything changed. All right, so where's the total cap space?
It should be on the right side where all the calculations are.
Okay, bet. Okay, so adjusted salary cap and then estimated cap space next year is $39.5 million.
Oh, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But remember, one thing, they do have to account for Chris Godwin.
According to this, Shaq Barrett would still be on contract next year. So maybe this list is a little bit more outdated than we thought.
I don't know.
It says that he's on 2021. He's on contract for $15.7 mil.
That's
oh,
weird.
yeah, they re-signed him on a 4-year deal.
They did. I'm out of the freaking loop.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. This list is pretty old. Yeah. So, yeah, man, as you can see, the free agency for... and shout out to PTA Sports. I just saw it, the $2 super chat. My guy, how are you doing? Gonna try and have you on one of these sooner or later. Same with Heartstorm, but that was just timing more than anything. He says, what's up, fellas? Good to see y'all. Good to see you too, man. PTA, go subscribe to him. He's just a funny dude, man. Straight up.
What up, PTA? What up?
But, yeah, so now that you know, the free agency ain't looking too hot. And you got Jamar Chase on the board and probably the second best edge rusher. What are you going with, bro?
I have to see what edge rusher it is, man, because see if he fits our scheme or not, man.
Bro, there's like nobody we're getting to improve it at that point then.
Right, but
do you want to know
what happens, man? There's surprise cuts every year. Surprise cuts every year. Trades happen every year. But I'm sorry, man. I'm probably gonna because, like I said, it's so hard to decide because we know the target is one is Jamar Chase. And then the other is a random, imaginary, second best pass rusher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it's very hard to put a name to the face. I'll put a face to the name, but man, I guess I would have to say pass rusher just because we have Darius Slayton, and I don't think Darius Slayton is a number one guy, but Darius Slayton is something. You know what I mean? So
according to Nerding On Sports, Haskins was 2-5 as a starter. Per Pro Football Reference.
Oh, damn. Well, he has the same amount of wins as Daniel Jones, so I can't say anything.
I saw somebody ask a question along the lines, if you're Washington and you basically end up with a top 5 pick again, are you taking a quarterback? Are you taking Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence if they're there?
Wow. Since Arizona started doing that, I think it happens.
I think it's, good point. I think because more teams might take that chance.
It would, because just... I'll tell you right now, Arizona is being looked at by teams that suck, that aren't working out with their quarterbacks. Arizona is being looked at by
the Bears.
Cleveland,
oh, okay.
By the Bears, by Cleveland, by Jacksonville. Jacksonville drafted a 6th-round quarterback. He don't count. But, by a lot of these different teams. So, we'll see. We'll see. I think even the Redskins, or whatever their name, the Washington team. And, Dwayne Haskins, I don't think is... hell, I don't know. I think Josh Rosen was better in his rookie year than Dwayne Haskins was.
Okay, no, that's a bit far. I don't know about that.
Honest with
nah,
you,
Josh
man.
Rosen had a pretty bad rookie year, man.
Dude, but Josh Rosen did some things, man. I don't know. I couldn't find anything good that...
Greeny Green says I should ask that about Daniel Jones. So if the Giants end up with a top 5 pick again, are we taking a quarterback?
No, there's no freaking way. Daniel Jones' only problem he had last year was fumbling the ball. If anything, I'd say that's a good problem to have. At least he doesn't have terrible decision-making issues or accuracy issues that are not that easy to come back from as a quarterback. If he has fumbling issues,
and that's one thing I feel like people forget. Haskins had a lot more problems than DJ did. Whenever they try to compare the two, he had quite a few problems. But I will say
he's very immobile.
I was about to say. I will say
very, very contrary to what Stephen A has to say, but he is very immobile.
Stephen A was a whole clown with that, bro. And Colin Cowherd. Yo, somebody did an exposed video on Colin Cowherd and on Mike Francesa. They both said the same thing. Before the draft, they were like, oh, Daniel Jones, he's an immobile quarterback, doesn't have a strong arm. The only thing we really know about him is that he's smart. And they say that because he went to Duke, because they didn't do research. Then after the Tampa Bay game, both of them said the same thing. They were like, we always knew he had the big arm.
Yeah,
it was just a matter.
Got caught beating
it was just a matter of if he's gonna put that to use. People just caught them slipping.
Francesa. So cocky, but can't own up to his own wrong takes. I hate that.
Facts. And shout out to Bronx B Squad in the chat. I think he has a YouTube channel as well. Go ahead and check that out. So I had another question in mind that I saw from a viewer here. Let me scroll up and see if I can get it real quick. I can't find it for some reason. I cannot. All right, so we'll just move on to another one. It's probably gonna come back to me eventually, but so in terms of coaching, both the Redskins and the Giants, they both got new coaching staffs. They're both going through this absolutely hellacious offseason, whereas 100% going to affect them negatively, in my opinion. Could be positive outcomes, but for the most part, they're going to suffer. Who do you think comes out of it stronger?
Say that again?
For the Redskins and Giants coaching staff, because they're both new, both completely brand new, and they're both going through the same thing right now.
I want to try to seem as unbiased as I can, because Ron Rivera has more experience, right?
He might get a slide.
He might, but I think Joe Judge would be more successful next year. I think he's gonna be more. I think he just has a lot more to work with.
And since we're trying to be unbiased, why do you say that compared to Ron Rivera?
I just think he's building a better culture, and I think the Giants, although we have some ownership issues,
I will say this though, devil's advocate, is he really building a better culture with guys like Rosas and Baker on here and what they've happened?
Hey, I made a video a couple of days ago, and a lot of people loved my observation on this. I have a observation, I guess, for lack of a better term, or theory. I have a theory of why they are still on the team. I feel like Joe Judge is confident enough to take the task of turning these boys into men. Because in his press conferences, he expressed that he wants to be able to work, to be able to hire the coaching staff around him to work with these players and not only make them great players on the field but off the field. He said that in his words. I don't know what his exact words are. I can't remember his exact words. But he said he wanted to hire a great group of men around him so he could turn these players into good people, good men on and off the field. I feel like Joe Judge is taking this opportunity to show what his culture is all about and to show, to pretty much put an example out there that he can do this, that he can turn this culture around. I feel like teams that decide to get rid of these players right away will tell you that they don't want to handle it. They don't think they can handle it. They don't want to handle it. Like with OBJ situation, they try to handle OBJ. Remember, Tom Coughlin tried it. Ben McAdoo tried it.
I will say this though, OBJ was the best behavior under Tom Coughlin.
Right, he was. But remember, they tried with OBJ. It didn't work out, so they had to let him go. But other teams where you see them just let go of players, that means they don't want to deal with them anymore, right? Joe Judge is keeping them around because I feel like he's taking on the task to help these players and try to transform them into better men. And I think that's one of the most noble. If my theory is true, I'm not saying it's true, but if that theory is true, that's probably one of the most noble and one of the most leadership type qualities you could have in a head coach. A guy that will not give up on you, and he's gonna bring. And
that's probably why he hasn't given up on Rosas or Baker yet. Who knows?
That's what I'm saying. Because remember, he's coming from the Bill Belichick tree. Bill Belichick did the same thing. You think with any controversy, he just, besides AB, because AB is just a different.
And I see Bronx B Squad says y'all hear about AB. You talking about him retiring for the second time? That's not really news to talk about, bro. It's the second time he's retired.
But in New England, Bill Belichick, he turns boys into men. He takes guys. Randy Moss. Look at Randy Moss. He had issues, right? And they brought him in, and he probably had his best season as a Patriot. So, I mean, he's learning from that type of coach. I think it's low-key just a noble thing and a really great leadership quality to have to to say, hey, I'm gonna keep these players, and instead of getting rid of them and just making them feel like they're nothing, I'm gonna show them what it's like to be a man. I'm gonna teach them the right way. I'm gonna put them on that path. Because what is a great leader when you have no one to lead? You can't expect to just lead.
Bro, why do I feel like I'm in the middle of a war speech, bro?
You're in a freaking TED Talk right now, man.
I feel like this man is giving a speech to the troops before we go out to battle.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, this is very funny that you say that, Hub, because remember I said that when I heard Joe Judge's first press conference, I was actually delivering mail. I wanted to run through a wall. And I'm not even joking. After I finished hearing his press conference, I'm like, yo, my heart started racing. I'm like, yo,
let's get on the field.
Got somebody. I think we actually got somebody.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's what I think, man. Judging by Joe Judge's press conferences, how he wants his coaching staff to be, I feel like he wants to lead these men. And like I said, you're not a leader if you have no one to lead. So you have to be, teaching by example. You can't expect to just have all the most goody two-shoes on your team and expect it to work out that way. There's going to be some issues. I feel like he's taking on that task of helping him.
And I agree with you. If I had to pick one of the new coaching staffs that comes out of this offseason between the Redskins and Giants, just a little bit stronger, a little bit more successful, I'd go Joe Judge. And I would go a different route from you because you took a route that I never even thought about. Being completely honest, that didn't even pop into my mind. You talk about just the mental aspects of things, and 100% I agree with that. I guess my route, for the sake of both being different and adding something else, would just be the Giants overall. Their coaching staff is better in my opinion. Not just Judge wanting to turn guys into men, but the guys below Judge are better than the guys below Ron Rivera. Like, you actually have assistant coaches that have had head coach experience and assistant coaches that have had major success at the college level. Now, obviously, we hope that translates, but I think overall the Giants coaching staff is better than what the Redskins have. You talk about Mark Colombo, Jerry Shaplinsky, quarterbacks coach, Coach Chaos on the D-line. I think we just have a better overall staff than what the Redskins have got.
Jason Garrett, Freddie Kitchens.
Exactly.
I forgot that Freddie Kitchens,
the tight end coach.
Yeah, I forgot that he's even on the team.
Listen, he was a terrible, same thing as Pat Shermer. He was a terrible head coach, but a great offensive coordinator. And if he was a great offensive coordinator, he's going to be a great tight ends coach.
Right, and hopefully he can get Ingram on the right track.
Man, that's beyond him, bro. That's all between Ingram and God or something, bro. I don't even know.
Yeah.
And William Mayer with a question. I actually made a video on this. He said, what happens if Soldier sits out? What does it do to our cap this season and the next? So he's referring, I'm pretty sure I made a video saying that Soldier might opt out the season if given a chance because his son just went through cancer, and Soldier has already made tweets saying that if the NFL can't keep its players safe, there won't be a season. And I respect him for that completely because his son just went through cancer. His son is at a big risk for catching COVID and possibly, having, fatal stuff from that. So I respect Soldier if he sits out. The thing is that the NFL, it's been a couple weeks since they announced that they're going to work on a plan for player opt-out. They haven't gotten it done yet. So nobody knows what's going to happen to the cap as of yet. Nobody knows if Soldier is going to be making a percentage of his contract, if it's going to come out the cap, or if it's going to come out somewhere else. The NFL just hasn't finished working on it yet.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna work that. I can't remember if it was this roundtable or another one, but we talked about how, I think it was on our roundtable, where we talked about what are the percentages they're gonna be paying these players when they opt out, because you can't expect them to pay anything more than 50% because then everybody's gonna opt out and take their 50%. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be sort of, for lack of a better term, or for a better word, a punishment for not playing.
So I actually just pulled it up. So the NBA, for example, the player who opts out will lose a portion of his pay, forfeiting, this is so specific, 1 of 92.6 of his salary. I don't even know what that means. And is this one in the world? What is 1 of 92.6? What does that even mean? But that's what the NBA is doing.
I assume, wait, 2/6, that'll be 1/3. So it'll be a little bit less than 1/3.
That's what they're losing. So they're earning 2/3?
They're earning 2/3, but a little bit less than 1/3. So, I mean,
whatever it is, the NFL has to work on it.
They're only losing a third, right? They're only losing a third?
If the...
Golly, and everybody should freaking quit, man. You're getting 75% of your pay to sit home and do nothing? What the hell?
All right. But before we get into that, what do you think about? Do you think Solder might opt out? And what do you think about that? He might opt out for the sake of his kid. And what do you think about it?
This is not even speaking as a Giants fan perspective. I think just as a human being, I would tell him to sit out to make sure your kid is safe. And that's something I always take seriously. I don't even care for Saquon Barkley. If Saquon Barkley said, "Hey, my kid has cancer, I don't think I can play," I'd say, "Dude, do not play.
Mm-hmm.
Do not freaking play."
And in Solder's case, this might sound a bit harsh. I got this comment, but the more I thought about it, the more it kind of made sense. If he's gonna sit out, why not just retire then? I mean, maybe Solder has one last run in him a couple of years, but I don't think he has that many years left in him if he's gonna opt out. What do you think about him retiring?
We'll see what happens. Yeah, he's like 34 years old, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's pretty old.
He's on the wrong side of 30.
Yeah, he's on the wrong side of 30. So if he sits out this year, he'd be 35 and looking for a job. So I think he still sign on with this new contract, but I don't think we'll keep him on that long. So I mean, we'll see. I think he should sit out, and then that's obviously going to give. It's bittersweet if he were to do that because of why he's doing it, but it would still get me excited that Matt Parrott is going to have an opportunity to start right away. Because I'm sorry, Kevin Fleming starting on the right side, I just don't see it. I'm sorry,
I think if it does come down to it, Solder doesn't play, I think Cam's going to start probably the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then Matt comes in.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Matt's going to be special dude.
Bro, listen, Matt needs to sit, in my opinion, for him to get to his full potential. Because he's a project. And projects needs to sit.
But the thing is, I don't think he's that much of a project.
Bro, he's... listen, we both have full confidence in him. I just think we're both at different levels.
I think he's better than Austin Jackson. I think he's
I think he's better than Mekhi Becton if he reaches his full potential. But it's going to take a while for him to reach his full potential.
Right now he's better than Austin Jackson. Austin Jackson was the 18th overall pick last year, the offensive tackle that went to Miami at a USC. I think he's better than him right off the gate. And he was a third, and Matt Parrott's a third-round pick. I think Matt Parrott can start. I think he can.
Listen, I think he can start eventually, but I'm not saying right away. I can't say right away.
Man, we will see.
That's one thing. Yo, rookie camp. We'll see what he does in rookie camp, bro, starting tomorrow.
Nerding Out Sports is about to make me explode. He said, Nick Gates. Don't get me started on no freaking Nick Gates.
I don't know how Nick Gates got hype out of nowhere. He really did get out of nowhere. First for the center position and now for tackle.
Yeah, he probably had like 1 or 2 good games. I can't even remember a game that Nick Gates did well. Like, he probably did well in relief of Chad Wheeler, but it's Chad Wheeler.
Is Chad Wheeler still on the team? We should have kept him just because his name is Chad, bro. And Dylan says, but then again, Gelman had one of the best press conferences at first too, but now I feel like people are overrating Joe Judge because of what he has said in his first press conference. I agree with him on some points. I do feel like people are overrating him a bit. We haven't seen the guy actually do his job yet. All we've seen and heard was the press conference, and I do feel like some Giants fans are blown out of proportion. What do you think about that?
One thing I will tell you is that there's not a lot of coaches that have their experience and their resumes like Joe Judge has. Like, no, he didn't have a offensive defensive coordinating job for like about 5 years before he became a head coach. But
he had experience from the 2 best coaches ever.
You see the mentors that he had. It's not every day that you had that your 2 mentors in your life are the 2 best head coaches of football of all time in their respective levels. Nick Saban and Bill Belichick are probably the guys to learn under. He doesn't know how to lose. He doesn't know losing. So he's already accustomed to a winning culture. So what is that going to tell you when he steps into the Giants organization? He's going to know what's wrong. Why? Because he's been a part of a winning culture for so long. He's going to know how it's different. He's going to step into that Giants organization and say, yeah, I didn't know about this. Like that's not how we do things. Let's do things this way, So he's gonna change things around to how he knows things, and that's gonna create that winning culture. I feel like that's exactly what Joe Judge is gonna put in place. I feel like he's gonna be able to identify a lot better than most coaches on what is wrong with the team.
Same could be said for Jason Garrett. Despite the guy being a bad head coach, he knows about winning. The Dallas Cowboys have been a winning team for the past decade, really.
Right.
With the exception of 2015, I think.
Yeah, Mickey C or Mikey C. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Says Matt Peart is the second best tackle in this year's draft. Kidblue, you sleepy on Nick Gates. Watch film, please.
He says watch Nick Gates versus Bosa in college.
Yeah. Listen.
That was a big pause, bro. You paused for a second there.
You could watch Nick Gates in any other. I watched Nick Gates in Wisconsin. I know he's a Wisconsin tackle, okay? And he was an absolute doorman. He let everybody through. And on top of that, you want to talk about film versus certain players? I get it, like Andrew Thomas versus Josh Allen, stuff like that. Okay, watch R.J. McIntosh versus Quentin Nelson. Okay?
Hey, listen. RJ McIntosh is somebody I actually think that's going to improve this year. Like, not even joking, just because I think the Giants are going to get rid of BJ Hill for some reason. Like, 100%. I think BJ Hill's going to be gone, and then RJ steps in and just a good player. I really expect that.
But RJ McIntosh, obviously, is not going to beat out Quentin Nelson. You know what I mean? But he did do that when Miami and Notre Dame played a couple of years ago. You know, Nebraska. Okay, not Wisconsin. Is the red and white team in the Midwest. Okay, the red and white team in the Midwest. I get those guys confused all the time. Like I used to think Melvin Gordon, because Melvin Gordon came out in that 2015 or 16 draft. 15 draft. He came out in the 2015 draft. I always thought he came out from Nebraska, but he came from Wisconsin. So yeah, I always get those two mixed up. But still, Mickey. You can't just say watch this guy versus this guy in college because I mean R.J. McIntosh killed Quentin Nelson and Quentin Nelson's the best offensive lineman in football right now. I mean, I don't know.
And now Dylan Renner's coming a bit late saying that he was from Nebraska. And somebody said, I think it was Learning Out Sports, Nick Gates was better than Mike Remmers, which isn't saying much. It's like saying Chad Wheeler was better than Flowers.
Exactly. I'm not a Nick Gates guy. And the fact that everybody thinks Nick Gates could play anything, like, I swear, they would think Nick Gates could play cornerback. If we need a cornerback, they say, hey, throw Nick Gates in there, see what happens. You know? I remember going in the draft, people were saying, oh, we don't need a center. We have Nick Gates. Have you ever seen Nick Gates take a snap at center? No.
I never got that. And it's why I wanted my boy Tyler Biadasz so bad, and the Giants ignored him for so long in that draft.
Oh, my God. Out of Wisconsin. That's a guy out of Wisconsin.
I wanted him. He just kept slipping, and then he slipped to the Cowboys, and I got so jealous and angry. I was like, he was like my number 2 center, bro. He was my number 2 center, and he was like, what, the 5th or 6th center to go off the board? Crazy.
Yeah. It sounds weird because I know a lot of people love Biadasz, and I love Biadasz too, but I probably would have still taken Matt Peart over Biadasz.
No, I'm saying past that because he was available until like the 5th or 6th round, I think.
He was.
Yeah.
No, I think he was a 4th round pick.
Did he go in the 4th?
Yeah, he went in the 4th.
Okay. So, yeah. Point is, he was available post Matt Peart. And, I mean, we'll see.
Did we have a 4th? We didn't have a 4th.
Yeah, we took Darnay Holmes.
Darnay Holmes. Oh, yeah, I probably would have still took Darnay, though.
Maybe. I really just think that if we got...
If we didn't take Darnay, look at our cornerback core.
That is true. That is true, but if we had Biadasz, and I'm not saying I'm going to go back and do this, I'm just thinking, if we had Biadasz, the offensive line is completely fixed.
Oh, it's completely
fixed. The offensive line is done.
The
offense is ready to roll, bro. The offense is ready to roll.
Oh, God, imagine if we would have done that.
That's a mini Dallas Cowboys offensive line, bro.
In 1 year.
Exactly.
2 years. 2 years, because Biadasz, Will Hernandez previously.
Bro, across the line, Andrew Thomas, Will Hernandez, Tyler Biadasz, Kevin Zeitler, Matt Peart, bro. That would have been elite, bro. Anyway, that would have been elite. Anyway, Mikey C says that RJ got talent. Yeah, I think RJ's going to improve this year, but it has more to do with him getting more time, I think, compared to BJ. It's funny, we got RJ and BJ in the same draft.
Mickey says that Gates was a left tackle in college. He has a lot of versatility. You sleep.
Bro, he's going to be a great depth piece. He's going to be a great depth piece.
Yeah, listen, I like Nick Gates. I like him. But I'm tired of people saying that he's a starter. He's not a starter. Because, let me tell you right now, Mickey, I guarantee you, Mickey, and I don't want to assume you, but I guarantee you were advocating for Bobby Hart. I guarantee you were advocating for Chad Wheeler.
Bruh.
I guarantee you were advocating for Marshall Newhouse back then. There was a bunch of right tackles that came and left, bunch of Bobby Hart played like 2 games in his rookie year, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, he's fantastic! He's our right tackle! Oh my God!" Same thing with Chad Wheeler. Chad Wheeler came in relief of Eric Flowers, and everybody thought Chad Wheeler was the truth. But as all USC players are, Chad Wheeler was garbage.
Listen, he was better than Flowers, and Flowers was garbage. So he was better than garbage.
I mean, everybody was better than freaking out Flowers, man.
I will say, though, Gates is going to be a great depth piece for this offensive line. And that's another reason the offensive line is really just so close to being fixed. It's not just the starters. We finally have good depth, man. You talk about Shane Lemieux, he might not make it as a center. Who knows? He's going to be great depth for Kevin Zeitler and Will Hernandez. Nick Gates, a great swing tackle, like Mikey C says, with versatility. He's going to be a great depth piece. Cam Fleming, great depth piece. Like, the offensive line finally has quality depth with it now.
Yeah, Nerding Out Sports says we really had Eric Flowers, John Jerry, and Bobby Hart on the same offensive line. Now you guys see. Now that we have a better offensive line, now everybody finally realizes what Eli had to work with.
I was about to say the same thing, bro. I was like, people really overlook. Just go and look at that 2016 offensive line, bro. That's what Eli had to work with. Go look at that 2016 offensive line. That is why the Giants are where they are right now. That's a big part of it. John Jerry, Eric Flowers, Bobby Hart, Justin Pugh, and Weston Richburg. And I think the only player out there that I would still even want to be on this team is Weston Richburg, but he's like, what, an average, below average center at best.
Yeah, but Justin Pugh's still good. I mean,
He's injury prone, though.
Yeah, he's injury prone, but he ranked very high last year in his first year at Arizona.
We'll see. But no, that was his second year. Yeah, that was his second year.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes, but that was a trash offensive line.
Yeah, terrible.
And if Gates starts as center, you gotta buy his jersey.
Get the hell out of here! I'll buy it to burn it. I'll buy it to burn it.
But if he starts, that means he beats out Shane Lemieux.
That's very true, but I don't think that's gonna happen. That's the thing.
No. He's saying if it does happen, bro. He's saying if it does happen.
I'm telling you right now, I will bet you $50 right now to say that Nick Gates. There's no way in hell Nick Gates is our day 1 starter at center. There's no way Shane Lemieux would get that role 9 times out of 10.
Listen, bro. Listen. I think we're also forgetting. Just like with Matt Purr, I think Shane Lemieux is going to start eventually. But just like with Matt Purr, I think he's going to sit for a couple of weeks before he does it.
Oh, William Meyer brought out a throwback guy, Brett Jones. Is he out there? No, Brett Jones. We traded Brett Jones a while. I think we traded Brett Jones in 2017 for like a 7th round draft pick to Minnesota. I mean, he was fine. It was a good little flip there. We got Brett Jones for nothing, and we traded him for a 7th round pick, which is cool. But
Chubby Squirrel.
Jones, yeah, he's a throwback.
Chubby Squirrel in chat. That's a name I've never seen before. What's up, bro? Welcome into the stream. He says, Eli played great in that playoff game against Green Bay in 2016. I completely agree. If the wide receivers had not partied with Bieber and the O-line did not stink, we could have made the Super Bowl. Only one of those things. If the wide receivers didn't stink, we could have made the Super Bowl. Because Eli was playing, I think he had the fastest release time of any quarterback in the league at that time because he adjusted to how bad the O-line was. He actually adjusted, so the O-line didn't even have to play good. The wide receivers just need to catch. While it would have been nice if the O-line did play good, the wide receivers, if they just caught, and Odell caught the 2 touchdown passes in the first half that he dropped, we win that Green Bay game. And I have full confidence that we could beat Atlanta. And so we're in the Super Bowl. Let me tell
you something. Nerding Out Sports brought out a name. I get Laramie Tunsil. Ryan Ramczyk. You know Ryan Ramczyk right now is being regarded as the best tackle in the NFL right now?
Yeah, I know that. I know it because I wanted him.
Yes. Another Wisconsin offensive lineman, man. They just keep pumping them out. Not the Nebraska offensive line like Nick Gates, okay? The Wisconsin offensive lineman, Ryan Ramczyk, dude. Let me tell you right now, I was the biggest You could go back. You guys know I never private my videos. You can go back in my old videos and just see. I was talking about Ryan Ramczyk in every New York Giants draft video I made. I talked about Ryan Ramczyk, how much I wanted this dude. It was either that or Garrett Bowles. But I thought Garrett Bowles was going to go higher, and he did to the Broncos. I was a huge Ryan Ramczyk fan, and when we took Evan Ingram, I was distraught. I was heartbroken. I was like, we didn't even take the best tight end on the board.
Looking back at it now, I think Evan Ingram is the best tight end on the board.
He was.
Yeah.
Well, he was. Yeah, he was. But at the same time, I would take Ryan Ramczyk over
100%.
over Evan Ingram.
100%. Exactly.
Any freaking day.
Exactly. Chubby Squirrel, thank you, my guy. He says, I sub. Make sure you go into the description and sub up Kidblue as well, another great Giants content creator. We do this every week. Next week, this podcast will be on his channel on Wednesday. And Nerding Out Sports, yeah, that's another thing. Playoff Eli came that day in 2016. I'm telling you, OBJ, just catch one of those two because he dropped 2 touchdown passes in that game.
Right,
one of them where he was like wide open and he just had to run about 10 more yards and he would have gotten it, and one in the end zone, bro. It was so. Tell me how our best receiver that day was Tavares King, and the only reason I know Tavares King's name is because he was the best wide receiver on that day.
Yeah, that was a very heartbreaking day because that was the first time in a long time we saw the Giants made the playoffs, and we are like, maybe this is the year. You know, our defense was playing great. We had the NYPD, right?
Yes, bro. The NYPD. Oh my God. The pass defense that year was out of this world. The defense in general, they were playing out of their mind.
Janoris Jenkins was talked about as a top 5 cornerback in the NFL.
He was talked about as like being one of the best.
Yeah, being one of the best. And then DRC had 6 interceptions that year.
Landon Collins, of course,
was all right. Landon Collins was killing it.
Landon Collins should have been Defensive Player of the Year.
Who was our free safety?
Andrew Adams, I think.
Andrew Adams. Yeah, I loved Andrew Adams, dude.
We shouldn't let him go.
I loved Andrew Adams.
We shouldn't let him go in the 20s.
We shouldn't have let him go.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have let go Romeo Aguara, Devon Kennard.
I will never. People call me a Dave.
All of them go at the same time.
People call me a Dave Gettleman defender. I will never forgive him for letting go of Devon Kennard and Romeo Aguara, bro. Romeo Okwara, he filled in for JPP in the 2016 as a rookie in that Cowboys game, and there was no difference. There was no difference. Romeo performed just like JPP would have.
Yeah, batted down passes, 2 sacks. I mean,
he was a beast, and I'm still mad to this day that we let him go.
I remember in his first year with Detroit, he led Detroit in sacks.
Imagine what he could have done for the Giants. Like, he could have been our Marcus Golden on a cheaper price.
Right.
And homegrown because we drafted him. So, and then nerding out. Jenkins, that was the year Jenkins and Des Bryant couldn't catch a thing against Norris. He couldn't catch for save his life against Norris Jenkins.
Oh yeah. And because Des Bryant was talking crap that year too.
Des Bryant was talking mad hot, and Janoris Jenkins shut him. That second Cowboys game, bro, he made him drop the pass, and then there was one, and he just got the straight up interception on Des. Des didn't do anything in the second Cowboys game.
And I remember, I remember that year everybody was talking about, especially Cowboys fans, because the TTC was still around back then. If you guys know the trash talking circle back then. A lot of people would get on OBJ and the Giants because like, oh, you just need OBJ to take a slant to the house. That's all you guys did. And I remember that's exactly what the touchdown was.
Mm-hmm. It was a slant to the house. It was like what, like a 60-yard slant?
Yeah, it was like a 60-yard slant by Odell for the touchdown, and we won that game 10-3. I remember that. Yeah,
that was probably, bro. That was my favorite game of 2016 because I also remember at halftime that Dan Bailey he had to make like a 60-yard kick and it hit the goalpost and it bounced back.
My favorite game back in that season was probably Baltimore. Odell killed that.
That's the best game of his career to this day.
Yeah, it's like 222 yards, something like that.
And like 3 touchdowns or something like that.
Yeah, he took like 2 slants to the house on that one. 10-7,
exactly.
Yeah, 10-7 nerding out, my bad.
And Greeny Green says give Reese credit for those guys. If you're talking about, I will give Reese credit for some things. I'll give him credit for drafting Romeo Okwara. That's definitely somebody that I didn't expect to be as good as he was. I think did he sign Devon Kennard or did he draft him?
Who?
Jerry Reese. Did he sign or draft?
He drafted him. He's in the same draft class as OBJ. He's a 5th round.
Yeah, I'll give him credit for those guys. Those guys were good. They were good. And
he was a USC player. He's probably one of the only few USC players that worked out. You guys can tell I hate USC players. Sorry.
It's so crazy that all of them ended up on the Lions somehow. The defensive players.
I know. Yeah. Romeo.
Devon, Damon.
Yeah. Oh, Andrew Adams. Andrew Adams.
Did he?
Yeah, he went to Detroit for a little bit. He's on the Bucks now, but he went from the Giants to the Bucks to the Lions, then back to the Bucks.
For some reason, Mikey C has been calling Jerry Reese Yeast. I don't know why, but I'm okay with it.
J-Yeast?
Yeah, J Yeast. I'm okay with it, I guess. And
Jay,
Dylan Renner said it was Deontay Thompson. No, I'm pretty sure it was Andrew Adams that was our free safety that year, wasn't it?
we didn't have Deontay Thompson we didn't have a Deontay Thompson.
Or are you talking about something else, Dylan Renner?
Yeah, Deontay Thompson is. Oh, he's talking about Derry. Oh, he's talking about. I should know. I'm a Boise State fan. Darian Thompson. There we go.
He
Darian
was
Thompson, third round pick.
Was he our free safety in 2017? I think.
I actually think Darian Thompson wasn't even on the team. No, he was drafted before that. He was drafted in 2015, I think.
Okay. Oh, Chubby with a pretty good one. He says, and Dylan Renner, that is true. It's so sad that we as Giants fans are talking about 2016. It's one of the best years we ever had. It is kind of because it's a year of what ifs. I think about 2016 the same way I think about 2008.
No, I mean, sure it was one of our best years because we made the playoffs and we went 11-5, but that team sucked. That was one of the worst.
No, that team overperformed, but they were overperforming at the right time.
Right, but it was the defense. I mean, that offense was terrible.
The offense was 100% terrible.
We scored 17 points per game.
Yeah, they couldn't score above 20 to save their life in the second half of the season.
But
I still believe that we could have made it far in the playoffs. Because if we get past that Green Bay game, our toughest competition is Matt Ryan and the Falcons. And I thought our defense could have held them down.
Remember Matt Ryan that year? They had one of the best offenses.
I know, but once again, going back to just how out of the mind the defense was overperforming, I do think they had a chance against that offense.
Right, but what if we got in a shootout? And ain't no way that offensive line with Eli and that offensive line was going to keep up, even with OBJ there.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. And Chubby Squirrel, he had a pretty good one. He says Henry or Zeke debate. I don't know. I'd probably still go Zeke, even though Derrick Henry is basically like a monster, a king on the field. What do you think?
Henry and who?
Zeke.
Oh, Henry versus Zeke. I was gonna take Zeke. Zeke is more consistent.
Yeah, Zeke is a true bell cow, but Henry is just a monster. Don't get it twisted. Derrick Henry is just a monster,
don't get me
bro.
wrong. I love Derrick Henry. It's just that he sometimes a cornerback could take down Derrick Henry, and I'm like, I don't know how that's possible.
By the way, go check out my top 5 running backs video. I think I had Derrick Henry at number 4 and Zeke at number 3, so I had them right there. And Noname was saying Thompson started in 2017. I was like, it had to be after Andrew Adams. And Shelby Squirrel says being a Giants fan is depressing. We have to watch a constant product of confusion led by John Mara, and even worse, we have to watch Dave Gettleman rants on Twitter. Wait a minute, what?
Wait, what? Is Dave Gettleman?
I think he's
Trump?
I think he's talking about. There's a bunch of Dave Gettleman like meme burner accounts that I follow, and they're extremely funny, bro.
Oh, I gotta see those.
There's one of them that even types out in the New Jersey accent that he speaks in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
the Boston accent.
The Boston accent, yeah.
In the car.
Yeah, exactly. The quarterback. We drafted the quarterback at number 6. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this stream, guys. My phone is dying. I don't know if you guys noticed. My camera is my phone, so whenever you see me sticking randomly or it starts getting even blurrier, that's how I know my phone is dying because I can't see the battery percentage. And we went a pretty good length, almost 2 hours. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. This was a pretty fun stream. We finally had some news to talk about, whether it was general NFL or Giants related. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody that donated. Kidblue, any last words?
No, man, it was extremely fun, and this is how it's going to be from now on, man. Just full of action, man. We have topics. We have
news. We have
news to talk about, guys. We got rants.
Knock on wood. We have football.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, but thank you guys so much. You guys were awesome. Everybody in the chat, you guys were so interactive. You guys were always in the chat.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you right now, man. This was one of the best chat oriented podcasts we've ever done because they were really coming in with questions this time.
Yeah. And if you guys want to keep the content coming, if you guys want us to keep the content coming like this and be as entertaining as it is, then you guys should support always. Trying to make the streams as much as you guys can. Next week it's gonna be on my channel. We're gonna keep rotating with me in the hub every other week. It will be on his channel every other week. It'll be on my channel. So just keep coming back, and we'll build this audience. And it'll get a lot better, man. It'll be even better than we have it now.
And by the way, we're going to try, listen, there's no promises, but we'll try and get another Giants player on the podcast eventually. For those of you that didn't know about it, somehow you're living under a rock. Like, for example, I know Chubby Squirrel's a new subscriber, and my camera just went out, so my phone just died, but you guys could still hear me, so that's good. But last week we had the undrafted rookie free agent linebacker of the Giants, Oluwole Batiku, on the stream. I have a replay of it, kind of slightly edited on my channel, and of course you could catch the stream replay on Kidblue's channel. Go check that out. We interviewed a Giants player. We're going to try and get another one on stream. No promises, but we'll try and get another one on here eventually.
Yep.
And so